Normally I'd hold a feast with food and drink, but first, let me explain about the Ark. Aye, fine by me. I like men who get to the point. DVD. Thank you. As Atlanta told you, I'm David, King of Israel. The Ark of the Covenant is my noble phantasm. JDA. King of Israel? DVD. Yes, one of the many kings of ancient Israel. Is there something on my face? JDA. And no, that's not it. Don't worry about it. Psst. Master. The Marine leaned closer to Jean, and she whispered in his ear. JDA. Do you know anything about him? I just thought it was a genuine question to ask. DG. Sure. To sum it up, David was the third king of Israel, and he was the father of Solomon. He was also the one who defeated the giant Goliath when he was a young man. JDA. That's quite the story, Marine. Thank you for the history lesson. DG. No problem. Now, let's hear what he has to say. DVD. Ahem. Back to our discussion. The Ark is a third-rate noble phantasm. If you make someone touch the box, they die instantly. That's it. Could it be used for evil? Yeah, probably. Strictly speaking, it doesn't belong to me. It's like a contract that God gave to humanity. It's not easy to steal, but it's bad news if stolen. What's more, you can't shift it into spirit form. I'm the servant summoned to this world along with the actual physical Ark. Even if I die, it will remain as long as someone possesses it. DR. It is said that inside the box lies the stone tablets engraved with the 10 Commandments. DVD. But that's not all. That thing brings literal death, not just metaphorical. Anyway, after I heard from Atlanta that Jason was after the Ark, I hid in the forest with her and waited for an opportunity. And when she told me about you, Doomslayer, we waited for when you would eventually stumble on this island. ATL, I was summoned as part of the Argonaut crew, but I didn't lose control of myself like Heracles. Maybe because I never liked Jason in life, or because I was summoned as an archer who can act freely. Either way, once he was summoned, Jason immediately sought the Ark. He kept saying that if he had it, he could be the king of these seas. FD. Is the Ark a representation of the ancient kingship? DVD. Hardly. It's just a relic I offered to God when I was a king. It's not a sign of kingship. It's simply something owned by a king. Aye. David, may I ask something? DVD. Of course. Ask me anything. Aye. If I were to be sacrificed to this Ark, what would happen? That's what Jason intends to do when he gets his hands on the Ark. DVD. You're Riley, right? You were originally a divine spirit. If you were sacrificed to the Ark, this whole era would die. DR. I thought so. This is terrible. JDA. And why doctor? What happened? DVD. Now, before I continue, it seems we've been interrupted. I'll tell you the details after the fight. Coming from the forest, a group of wyverns stormed David's camp. The creatures were flying low, trying to grab anyone who was in the camp. This didn't yield any results since the Marine and his associates were more than familiar with the wyvern's tactics, crouching down in order to avoid the wyvern's sharp claws. Using Shepard's sling, David killed one of the wyverns, hitting it straight in the forehead. Atlanta fired 3 arrows in a single pull, killing another wyvern that tried to grab her. The Marine returned fire using the rocket launcher, obliterating multiple wyverns using the lock-on burst. Some wyverns landed and tried to attack the party from the ground, but they were quickly dealt with by Jean, Drake, and Uriah. The 3 fought against the monsters with incredible fury, with Jean killing wyvern after wyvern with great speed. Her natural combat abilities were greatly enhanced by the Marines' Sentinel training, making Jean a fearsome foe. The last one of the wyverns was killed by Doom Guy, who brought it down using the super shotgun's meat hook and blasted its clean off with the double barrel. David calmly sat upon the wooden log again and resumed his explanation from earlier. DVD. As I was saying before, the Ark brings death to all things. Sacrificing a soul that exists as a god, regardless of rank, would cause the box to lose control. The death of a god means the death of the world. The Ark is a disaster from that kind of era. If this was a normal world, it would only destroy the surrounding area. But this is an unstable place that normally wouldn't exist, right? I doubt such a groundless world like this can survive. A singularity, was it? The thing blurring the foundation of human history. This whole era will disappear without having to wait for its collapse. FD. Then there'd be no need for them to use their holy grail or even steal mine, for that matter. They can use that Ark to sacrifice a goddess, and at that point, it will all be over for us. JDA. And why does Jason want to destroy the world? What he could possibly gain from it? DG. He doesn't know about the Ark's true power. DR. That's very likely. Perhaps someone convinced him that if he sacrificed Uriah to the Ark, he would become the king of this world. ATL. That's not surprising. Jason may be very good with words, but he isn't very intelligent. It would be very easy to manipulate him. DR. With that settled, now we must devise a strategy on how to deal with them. ATL. You don't need to count Jason. He's weak. Rather, he's never actually fought. He's a monster who formed the Argonauts with just charisma and eloquence, but he's no fighter. But I doubt having one useless member in their party poses any problems for them. And they have Heracles, after all. Dr. Those multiple resurrections from the 12 labors really are a pain to deal with. And not to mention we'll have to deal with Hector and Medea, too. This will be quite a difficult battle. Not to mention we are fighters who specialize in long-distance combat. We're archers after all. While the rest of the group were discussing strategies on how to fight the Argonauts, the Marine was already devising a plan to destroy them. Jean took notice of her master staring at the Ark. DG. JDA. Marine? What's the problem? DG. I think I know how to deal with them. Atlanta. Is there any place we could use as a stronghold? ATL. There's an old fort on the other side of this isle. Why do you ask? DVD. I think I know what he's trying to do. Since we're long-range servants, we're at our best in a position of advantage. However, I'm afraid we can't use that fort. Something evil has moved in there. JDA. Evil? Can tell us more. DVD. When we first arrived on this island, we tried to use that fort as our base. But when we tried to go near it, monsters we've never seen before attacked us. I can only describe them as demons from hell, because that's what they looked like. I'm sure of it. We barely escaped with our lives. No problem. Me and Jean will dispose of them. DVD. And what about the Ark? We'll need to store it inside the fort, and I'm barely able to carry it by myself. Unless you plan to touch it yourself. DG. The Ark is part of the plan to kill Heracles permanently. I'll have to see what happens anyway. JDA. Master, you can't do this. I'll not allow you to touch it. FD. I agree with Jean. That's insane, even for someone like you, Captain. But before anyone could protest any further, the Marine was already at the tent that covered the Ark and touched it. Nothing happened, and he carefully put it over his shoulders, not struggling to carry it at all. Jean, who was terrified only a few seconds ago, let out a sigh of relief. DVD. Well, it appears the Ark has no effect on you. But that was quite a brave attitude. I can see why Atlanta respects you. ATL. I told you, David. If there's any chance for this era, it's him. DVD. With that out of the way, how do you plan to use the Ark to deal with Heracles? DG. He would not touch willingly, so I'll use the Ark as a weapon. After I lure him. That's quite the gamble. Heracles could be immune to the power of the Arkansas. A one-shot deal. No turning back. DG. There's only one way to see if it works. And what about Medea and Hector? FD. We'll have to fight them. There's no way around it. What's bugging me is that I can't get a read on his Jason. He impaled the enemy along with his own ally. Who knows what other cowardly tricks he'll pull off? ATL. No, don't worry about Jason. Trust me. I'm sure he will act this way. It's true he's a coward, but more than that, he places absolute trust in Heracles. I like what the Slayer is planning. Count me in. DVD. Count me in too. Since everyone's betting equally, it's fine as long as one of us survives and wins it all. What destructive thoughts this guy has. Or is it pure irresponsibility? Art. And you, darling? What do you expect from me? I'm just a plush toy. DR. I advise you to start working on that plan as soon as possible, Marine. You don't have much time until the Argo arrives here. I'm sure of that. DG. You've heard him. Gather your things, and let's move to that fort. The rest of the party nodded in agreement, and everyone started to prepare to move. As the Marine was waiting for them, he felt something hit the backside of his head with some force. He turned his head to see it was Jean that hit him, using the bottom of her lance. She was sporting a serious face, one that would make a normal man cower in fear, but not the Marine. Still, he didn't understand why she did that for. DG. Ouch. JDA. You mister, you'll never do something like that dangerous again, you hear? I want you to promise me you'll never do that again. After a brief second, the Marine responded. DG. I'll give you my word. Satisfied with his answer, Jean loosened her serious expression and continued to talk. JDA. I know you can take care of yourself, Master. But it's also my job as your servant's job to protect you, with my life if necessary. DG. I'm sorry for worrying you, Jean. But I had to do it. We can't just leave the Ark here. We needed to destroy Heracles for good. JDA. I know that. Still, be careful next time, okay? The Marine gave a thumbs up in response to Jean's question. She smiled in return and patted the Marine's back, and with him carrying the Ark, the group set out for the abandoned fort on the island, moving through the forest, with the night shrouding it in darkness. Given the distance, it was close to dawn when they arrived at the front gates of the deserted fortress. Putting the Ark on the ground, the Marine brought out the chain gun, ready to annihilate the demons that were infesting the fort. DVD. We'll stay here and stay on the lookout for Jason and the rest of the Argonauts. May God be with you, my friends. ATL. Rest easy, these two will be fine. Still, may the gods be with you, Doomed Slayer. FD. Yeah, she's right. The captain is a resourceful lad. He'll be back before we even know it. Leaving the rest of the group outside the gate, the Marine and Jean entered inside the fort. The usual stench of malevolence greeted them. Like most forts they've encountered, it was completely abandoned. The fortress was also much more simple and smaller than any of the previous one, and the energy of the essence was coming from what was probably the soldiers' barracks. After they searched every room in the fort, Jean and the Marine arrived in the barracks, where a single golden gore nest was sitting idly on the southeast of the large room. Strangely, there were no demons inside guarding the gore nest. This wasn't their usual behavior, and the two proceeded with caution inside the room. As soon as they got near the gore nest, the Marine immediately ripped out the putrid yellow pustule, destroying it and revealing yet another piece of the unmaker. As soon as the abomination exploded in the usual manner, a rumble could be heard coming from one of the walls in the barracks, getting stronger by the second. The wall was then knocked down, unveiling a very tall horned demon, with most of its body appeared to be covered in metal plates and red veins. The beast looked down at the two with a hateful stare, pointing what appeared to be a cannon implanted in its arm at them. JDA, that demon is not like the others we faced before, Master. DG, that's a cyber demon, or just tyrant if you want. They are demon lords hailing from the pits of Babel, and they hold power over the lesser demons, who fear them for their sadistic cruelty and malice. And they are also known for killing all of their own subordinates if they think they're trying to defy their orders. Hell has also enhanced them with stolen UAC technology, as you can see. JDA, that would explain the absence of other demons. And how do we kill it? DG, quite simple, attack it until it dies. The tyrant shot a laser beam from its arm cannon, missing the Marine and Jean by a mile and leaving a hole in one of the walls. The duo separated, with the Marine attacking the demon with the chain gun, tearing some of its flesh off with the EMG bullets, revealing a silver metal skeleton underneath. Jean found a weak point in the beast's knee, and she stabbed it with her lance with great force. The metal leg was launched across the room by the strength Jean put on the strike, making the tyrant fall on the floor, while the thing howled in pain and it started to fire micro-missiles from its arm cannon erratically. The ceiling over the demon collapsed, with large boulders falling all over it. After the rock slide was over, the cyber demon was still alive, even though most of its body was crushed by rocks. The demon tried to fire the arm cannon at the Marine and Jean, but the weapon was too damaged to even lit up. The duo got near the creature, and they finished it off, with the Marine using the super shotgun and Jean stabbing the creature right in its eye, destroying the metallic demonic skull of the demon. Soon, the tall beast turned to red dust, and with no further demonic activity picked up by the Praetor's suit, the two exited the fort. They were welcomed back by the rest of the party with great enthusiasm. Then, they spent the rest of the day devising a trap for the Argonaut, who were coming for the Ark and Euryale really soon. Abandoned Fort, Unknown Archipelago, Okeanos, 1573, 0900 hours. ATL, they're coming, Slayer, and they're quickly approaching our position, said Atlanta, yelling from the top of the fort. She, David, and Artemis prepared their weapons for the upcoming battle. The Marine nodded back at Atlanta in acknowledgement, and he looked in the distance, being able to make out the familiar silhouette of the Argo coming on the horizon. When Jason's ship was in range, the Marine gave the signal, indicating now it was time to use their noble phantasms. Jason was mocking them from the Argo, thinking this would be an easy victory because of Heracles. Little did he know, he walked right into a deadly trap. JSN, all right, the luck of the gods is on our side. Heracles, Medea, Hector land on that island and seize both Euryale and the Ark. HC, even though they know they're being targeted, I question their judgment. Well, whatever. It's their choice. I'll leave the decisions here up to our woe. JSN, huh? Arrows and rocks? What fools. As if these would work against Heracles. MBA, Lord Jason, they're aiming at you. JSN what? Back at the beach, when the Argo was in the position he wanted, the Marine contacted Drake, who had gone back to the Apollo as part of their plan, telling her to execute the next phase of the trap. DG, Drake, whenever you're ready. It's time. FD, understood, Captain. One massive ship coming right in. DG, time to finish this. JDA, absolutely, Master. I can't wait to go back home. I'm sick and tired of being in the ocean all this time. DG, agreed, but we have one last battle to fight. JDA, I'm right here to support you, Marine. May God be with us. From where they were perched, Atlanta and the rest of the servants were ready to unleash their noble phantasms. ATL, well then, time to show off all our noble phantasms. To both Apollo and Artemis, I offer this. Phoebus Catastrophe. Art, aw, thank you. What's wrong, darling? Your head is in your hands and you're shivering. On. It's just a knee-jerk reaction from hearing Apollo's name. Art, hee. Then it's my turn. Deploy noble phantasm. Hear my song of love. Tristar amore mio. DVD. And mine too. You have the right to reform, Jason. But first, You must atone for your sins. Haim Shavanam. From the deck of the Argo, the Argonaut could see the three impies coming in their direction, their light combining as they were crossing the sea to hit their intended target. Jason was almost drenched in his own sweat after seeing the might of the combined noble phantasms. HC. Whoa, a concentrated attack of noble phantasms. Ugh, what a pain. JSN. WY? Why is it all directed to me? You damn cowards. Still, that won't be enough to sink the Argo, much less destroy Heracles. They'll need 12 of those to even. MBA. Master, please look. JSN. What is it, Medea? Can't you see the... MBA. Look to your right, Master. It's coming right at us. It's Drake's ship. Jason looked to where Medea said, and he saw the immense prow of the Apollo coming fast, with Captain Drake sitting on the very edge, a smile on her face. She confidently yelled at the dumbfounded Argonauts. FD, let's see if you can survive this, you treacherous band of idiots. As the prow of the Apollo and the multiple noble phantasms hit the Argo from multiple directions, Medea touched the floor of the ship 2 times with her staff, and she safely teleported her companions to the beach of the island. However, their worst enemies were waiting for them there, the Marine and Jean, with 3 servants aiming their weapons at them, ready to shoot at any sign of movement. From behind the Marine, Jason could see Euryale peeking from behind one of the doors of a small fortress. This enticed Jason, who immediately commanded Heracles to do his bidding. MDA, please stay calm, Master. I shall protect you. JSN, thanks Medea, but I just can't count on someone so inexperienced. Hector, you stay here too. Protect me like a true servant. Heracles, they can't stop you. Pulverize them with one blow. HC, you're doing exactly what they want. But what do they plan to do to dispose of Heracles? Unless, Medea sighed, as Heracles charged right in the direction of the Marine and Jean, the two simply retreating inside the small fort alongside Euryale. Heracles brought down the doors of the fort, entering the building. The servant continued to charge towards Doomguy, who was waiting for him beside something boxy covered in a tattered cloth. When Heracles was a breath's distance from him, the Marine moved to the left side, and after he removed the cloth, revealing the ark underneath it, he grabbed Heracles' head and smashed it against the lid of the ark. JDA. It went just like you said it would, Marine. Well done. DG. Look, it's working. After his head touched the ark, Heracles' body started to dissolve, with the servant howling in pain as it turned to dust. A ray of light coming from struck the berserker, finally ending him. DR. That's it. I'm not picking any signals from Heracles. He's gone for good. Finally. JDA. Even though it was a tragic end, I'm glad we don't have to deal with him anymore. DG. Now, it's only Medea and Hector. Euryale, you stay here and don't come closer near the Arkansas. Whatever you say. I wouldn't dare touch it anyway. Leaving the fortress, Doomguy and Jean found the other servant fighting against Hector, who was protecting Medea and Jason with everything he got, deflecting the arrows and rocks that were thrown at them. Medea was clearly surprised to see the two strangers emerge from the fortress, with Heracles nowhere to be seen, an expression of amazement plastered in her face. Jason noticed it immediately, growing quickly distressed by the situation. At this point, Drake had already docked the Apollo nearby, and she walked towards Jason and Medea, joining the Marine and Jean on the way. FD. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jason. Can you hear me? Well then, we're coming for you now. JSN. Impossible. Heracles. What happened to Heracles? Medea. FD. Oh, come on. Do you really need to ask? If he was alive, you obviously wouldn't be so scared, right? He's dead. That's pretty simple logic. JSN. There's no way he'd die. He's Heracles, the great immortal hero. He's the epitome of a hero, someone who heroes admired, challenged, yet fell short of. There's no way a pretty, ragtag bunch like you could ever overcome someone like that. FD. I guess even you felt a semblance of friendship, even if it was a distorted one. Well, fine. If that's what you want to believe, so be it. We'll settle match. JSN. Medea, get us out of here. HC. Oh, thinking of running? Is that it? JSN. We're just retreating. Using this holy grail, all I need to do is summon a new servant. FD. Where do you think you're going, huh? I destroyed your ship and made sure of it. Even if you summon a new servant, we'll defeat him. You're not going anywhere, Jason. DVD. Oh boy. Make others fight battles for you. What a rotten thing. But I guess since you're relying on tricks like this, it means you're pretty much cornered, right? JSN. How dare you, you piece of... DVD. Now, Jason, was it? No need for such a scary face. Guess I really hit the mark, didn't I? JSN. Hector. I want them dead and I want it now. HC. Yes, I know. All right, Medea. If the need arises, I'll be counting on you. MDA. Yes. It is my duty to protect our master. I will look after him until the very end. HC. Oh, scary. Is that what they mean by naturally insane? Hi once again, Ruler Girl. And you, Doomslayer. They were not kidding when they said you were quite persistent. I admire soldiers like you. DG. HC. Ha, I see it now. You're a man on a mission, and I'm the next target. Whatever I say means nothing to you. Not like it mattered in the first place. Now, let's see who can hold out longer. This old man is pretty confident in defensive battles. So, come at me with everything you've got. JDA, you'd better be prepared then. Master, let's take care of him. Hector wasn't prepared for the speed of the duo. O'Reilly. That was for Asterios. HC. Damn it, this is it for me. Well, I did what I could. I guess I'm just not cut out to be a villain. I thought I'd at least go out big at the end of the world. But your hands are tied when the top is terrible. JSN. Hector. Not you two. MDA. He dissolved. Lord Jason. What shall we do now? Impossible to surrender or retreat. I'm a mage who can only heal and defend. Now what shall we do? JSN. Silence, woman. If you're my wife, act like one, and think about protecting your husband. MBA. Yes. Of course I am thinking, master. After all, that's what a servant does. JSN. What's that look? Why are you still smiling? Don't you understand what the situation means? DVD. Before you do anything else, answer this. Who gave you such an idiotic idea as sacrificing you O'Reilly to the Ark? JSN. That's none of your business. DVD. Yes, it is. After all, if you had sacrificed her, the world would have been destroyed. JSN. What? DVD. The Ark brings death. To offer it a divine spirit is completely insane. This era is unstable to begin with. It would have killed the era itself. JSN. Ridiculous. Lies. That can't be. DVD. Sacrificing a divine spirit will grant infinite power. Who tempted you with that promise? Was it Hector? Or perhaps it was Medea? JSN. Medea. He's lying, isn't he? Sacrificing a divine spirit to the Ark would have granted me powers and invincibility, right? I mean, that's what he told me. MDA. It is no lie. After all, the death of an era brings complete destruction. If the world is destroyed, your enemies will cease to exist. See? That makes you invincible, no? JSN. Why you? You people lied to me? That doesn't serve my purpose at all. I was finally going to create an ideal nation. One where everyone respects me. A true utopia, where all the people are content, and there is no war. Was this trial not for that purpose? Was it not to give me a second chance? MDA. What is a dream that can never come true, Lord Jason? What you desire is beyond you. You'll never be an ideal king. Even if your heart truly wished for peace, your soul is hopelessly twisted. You cannot make your dream come true. Not in the manner that you desire. You will only realize your fate the moment you obtain what you truly desire, then crush it with your own hands. JSN. What? What are you talking about, witch? What does a woman who is holed up in a rural shrine know? I was born the son of a king, but my uncle robbed me of my throne. I was forced into the care of a centaur. Even while suffering that indignity, I became resourceful. I built the Argo and gathered a crew of heroes. So what part of me? Where am I lacking the qualifications to be king? I just wanted to take back my own land. I just wanted my own nation. How is that wrong, you traitor? MDA, such a pity. Ever since I was summoned, I have told you nothing but the truth. I am Princess Medea. Prior to being betrayed, I was a witch who blindly believed the one who summoned me. That is why I have protected you all this time. You were chosen by that king. Everything is real. Everything is true. Though there may have been some misunderstandings. For example, I just said I would protect you, yes? But how I will protect you? With this, I can protect you. Medea takes the foreigner holy grail from Jason and holds it with her right hand. The grail flashes red and starts to pulsate. Suddenly, Jason starts to convulse and yell in pain. His body started to contort in inhuman directions. Jason's body also started to dissolve, little by little. JSN. Why dash? Why you? Stop. What are you doing? No. My body is melting. Argak, DR. Guys, something is being summoned by that grail. It's another one of those things. JDA. This feeling again is another. DG. Demon God. Amidea. Ulhaligrayu. O ultimate vessel granting my desires. Manifest. Remember, you are one of the 72 demon gods. I shall give you the strength to fight. I shall give you the strength to rise up. Let's fight together for the sake of destruction. Now then, rank number 30. Sea Fiend Fornius. Use that power to finally put an end to the Slayer's journey. Destroy him. From where Jason once stood, a demon god pillar appeared. Its hundreds of rows of eyes immediately stared at his mortal enemy, the Doom Marine, the demon feeling his presence. The thing let out hundreds of distorted whispers and screech in an unknown language. but one the Marine knew really well, and the demon prepared to attack. Its monstrous, black visage scared the others, save for David. FD, now that's one ugly rascal. What the hell is that? DVD, this is a surprise. What did she just say? Rank number 30, Fornius. She's talking about Solomon's demon gods. ATL, that energy, can we even be able to scratch it? DG, yes. See the eyes? That's its weak spot. JDA, what Master says is true. We already defeated one of those things before, and we'll defeat it again. FD, if the captain says we can kill it, then we will kill it. You came all this way to slay that thing, didn't you? So hold your head up high. This is it, the final battle. Be brave and laugh your fears away. Say, I have no use for a monster. Just give me a pretty crown. DG, let's get this over with. JDA, I'm right behind you, Master. The demon god wasted no time in attacking the Marines group, releasing a wave of hell essence against them. While some crouched and others fell back to evade the demon's attack. The wave hit Medea, causing massive damage to her chest area, and she fell to the ground, writhing in pain. The demon only wanted to kill the Marine at all costs, even if it meant hurting its own allies. Listening to the Marine's advice, Atlanta, Uriah, David, and Drake started to shoot the eyes of the demon, popping one after one. The creature once again tried to use the wave attack, and Jean immediately used her MP, shield him from it. Using the rocket launcher's remote detonation mode, upgraded with the cluster missiles, the Marine blew up part of the demon's pillar's horrendous body off, revealing the pulsating purple heart underneath its horrid skin. Breaking out of the formation, Doomguy immediately set out to destroy the heart of the demon. Before it could attack again, Atlanta fired multiple arrows into the creature, popping many of the eyes and giving enough time to the Marine to use the super shotgun's meat hook to rip the grotesque heart out. Once the heart was still pulsating in his hand, Doomguy crushed it, and the demon god started to dissolve, and it reverted back to being Jason. Medea started to crawl in the sand, only stopping when she reached Jason. JSN, Medea, MBA, yes, Jason. Is something wrong? JSN, fix me, my Medea. It hurts, it really hurts. MBA, JSN, what are you doing, you slowpoke? I said, fix me. MBA, I can't do that, Jason. I'm sorry. JSN, huh? MBA, I will be dying soon myself. It's such a pity. Originally, the world would have sunk with you. JSN, why you, just as I thought. MBA, although it has nothing to do with me, it's true that I did know you. Even as we speak, the memories of Princess Medea are coming back to me. Even if she was betrayed, even if she was cursed at, even if she'd been deceived from the very start. She truly, truly adored her Lord Jason. You had been given divine power, and yet you were endlessly innocent. Like a child excited over receiving a paltry treasure. You were hopelessly cruel and completely innocent. Despite being weak, you attracted others and inspired loyalty. That's who you were, Jason. That was her first love. But you were quick to betray everything. That's the only way you knew how to live. If so, isn't it easier to sink along with the world so that you won't be betrayed? You were never supposed to return to your land. JSN, damn witch. You treacherous, damned witch. D, go to hell. Damn it. Jason vanished, and, as she was rapidly bleeding out, Medea would soon join him. MBA, I'm sorry, Lord Jason. I wanted to protect you from him, but I had no way of doing so. I don't have much time left. I only wish I could have dreamed a beautiful dream in my final moments. As she was vanishing from this reality, Medea looked in the direction of the Marine's part and looked directly at him and Jean, and she said her final words. MBA, yes. Please be sure to prepare yourselves, the newest and last defenders from a distant era. You don't stand a chance against him. As soldiers, you have no prayer of defeating him. So go gather the stars. Numerous dazzling stars. Stars that can rise against the greed and beast hidden within man's heart. Stars that can remain bright even within a storm and light up the sky. Medea dissolved, leaving behind the other holy grail in the sand. Doomguy quickly retrieved it, notifying Dr. Roman of their success. DG, we've retrieved the foreigner holy grail, Dr. JDA, and we also defeated the demon god. DR, perfect. I can confirm it. There are no more enemies, and the era is beginning to correct itself. I'm opening the portal. You guys must leave the singularity right now. DG, understood. We'll just gather the servants and the Ark, then we'll be leaving. DR, sure, but make it quick. You only have 15 minutes until the singularity disappears. ATL, so what now? This world will disappear and we'll have to remain here. Is that it? DG, not really. You're all welcome to come to our base. JDA, only if you wanted, that is. ATL, I would be honored to go with you, Slayer. I can't speak about the others, however. DVD, I'll be going too. I have to look out after the Ark to make sure it doesn't cause any problems for you or anyone else. And I'm sick and tired of being here. I'll be leaving this place with you too. Just make sure to have a special room prepared especially for me. And that'll be only the beginning. Art, and Darling will come with you. Take good care of us, Master. On. Hey, wait a minute. That's not only for you to decide, idiot. ATL, shut up, Orion. And watch your tongue too. On, okay. Digi, now that everything is settled, you'll wait here for the portal. I'll retrieve the Arkansas. After turning off the comm link, the Marine immediately went back inside the fortress. After he exited the fort, with the Ark of the Covenant resting on his shoulders, the portal to Chaldea opened. Jean gestured for the servants to enter it, which they happily agreed to do. One by one, the servants entered the portal, leaving the singularity behind. Now, only Jean, Drake, and the Marine were now in the singularity. DG, I'm afraid this is where we part ways, Captain Drake. FD, I thought so. I knew this wouldn't last for long. Good things were never made to last. JDA, still, thank you for helping us correct this era. FD, oh, I did nothing. You guys did most of the job. I should be the one thanking you too. You saved all of us. DR, now, Captain Francis Drake. Thank you very much. With so many special cases this time, I wasn't really much help. Luckily, we had a dependable Voyager like you on site. Thanks to that, history has been successfully corrected. FDR, I couldn't do much in the end. If I could become one of those servants too, I'd be a little flashier. But I suppose that's an impossible request. A pirate like me could never be treated like a hero. DG, let's wait and see, Captain. You may have a surprise in the future. FD, if you say so, Mariner. So, if history is corrected, will I really lose my memories of all of you? DG, yes. JDA, that's what happens. We're sorry. FD, haha. Well, you don't have to say a word. That look on your face says everything. I see. Guess I can't sail around the world with you folks. A pity, but that's fine. Our time together was short, but it was a merry journey. So go. For seafarers, parting is always abrupt. Blown up by a cannonball, washed away by a wave, and ultimately lose sight of our destination and die. That's why we take those fears and always brush them off with a laugh. Farewell, Mariner, Jean. You too, cowardly scholar guy. When your journey ends, just remember how much fun you had with me. That'll be enough. DG, will do. Farewell, Captain Drake. JDA, adieu, Francis Drake. May God bless you on your journeys. Before stepping into the portal, the Marine and Jean turned around and waved one last time to Drake, and she retributed the gesture with great joy. What appeared to tears were rolling down her face. Even a fearsome Eldrac detested goodbyes in the end. The duo finally entered the portal, emerging moments later into the fortress reception area. Another foundation of humanity was restored. Okeanos was finally unsealed. Former Earth's Chaldea, orbit, Fortress of Chaldeas, reception, 1,300 hours. DR, welcome back, Marine Jean. Did you enjoy your cruiser? LY, Father, welcome back home. Dr. Roman and Lily welcomed the Marine and the servants at the teleporter in the reception area. The new servants were impressed by the stature and architecture of the fortress, almost looking they were hypnotized by it, and they spread out, examining every nook and cranny of the reception area. But Doomguy quickly noticed something was amiss. The fortress was much quieter than it usually is. The Marine could feel the tension of the air, so heavy he could cut it with his wrist blade. Dr. Roman also noticed the golden chest the Marine was holding and got out of his chair, eager to examine it up close, with Lily following him. She immediately hugged the Marine's leg while he patted her head. DR, is that really what I think it is, Marine? DG, yes, Doctor. The Ark of the Covenant. But before we do anything with it, I want to ask you something. DR, oh really, and what would that be? DG, what happened here while I was away? DR, you've noticed. You see, Dr. Hayden is also involved in this. DG, what a surprise. Can you elaborate more? DR, sure, you're in for quite the trouble. Dr. Roman summed up what happened after the last meeting he had with Director Olga. It appeared the servants were divided into those who feared the Marine as some sort of monster, and those who believed him to be a great, honorable warrior. Thankfully, Siegfried and Georgios were on his side, and their authority was more than enough to keep things running smoothly. However, the atmosphere didn't improve since then, and that could be detrimental for the future of their new Chaldea. The doctor was surprised that this didn't seem to bother the Marine at all. DR, so, you're not angry at the servants or Dr. Hayden at all? Not even a little? No, I don't care about what they think about me. However, if they hurt Lily or you, Doctor, that would be a different story. And Hayden being an impulsive imbecile is nothing new. Thankfully, nothing extreme happened because of him. JDA, but you didn't kill anyone, Marine. Only demons. And help them too. Why they would be afraid of you. DG, Fear of the unknown is the greatest fear of all, and servants are not immune to that. David, tired of eavesdropping, decided to interject in their conversation. DVD, perhaps I could help you with that? I could talk some sense into them. DR, King David, you don't need to worry about it. We can sort this out. DVD, I insist. It's the least I can do to repay what the Slayer did back in the singularity. Where are these fearful servants? DR, I'll go with you and show you where they are. Marine, can you store the Ark in a lab for me? And I know, I won't let anyone else touch it. Then you and Jean can relax. After we deal with this situation, I'll prepare the dorms for the new servants. Thanks for your service, once again. Dr. Roman and David left the reception, ready to deal with the rebellious servants. After the Marines secured the Ark on the science lab, Jean led him towards the cafeteria. She said she wanted to share a real meal with him and Lily after spending so much time without eating something in the singularity. As the three were eating at the table, Jean remembered the conversation the two had about what Argent energy really was back in the singularity, but given they were interrupted by Drake and the other events that happened there, her master wasn't able to conclude his story. And her curiosity wouldn't let her alone, even if back there he said it was quite the horrific truth. JDA. Marine, can we continue our conversation about that Argent energy issue? DG. Yes, but not in front of Lily. Can you wait until tomorrow? JDA. Sure, but why tomorrow? DG. I'm planning a meeting tomorrow to tell the full story, and you'll need some time to prepare yourself. That's it. JDA. I see. Let's resume our meal, shall we? After they finished their meal, Jean accompanied her master to his room and left for her dorm, while the Marine was trying to explain to Lily why she can't enter his dorm and why she must go back to her room. Jean smiled, thinking who could ever think to even fear this man? Unless it was a demon, obviously. The next day, as he promised, the Marine knocked on the of her room and said that it was time for the meeting. After she got dressed, the two went straight for the meeting room, where Director Olga, Dr. Roman, and Dr. Hayden were waiting for them. DR, they're all here, as you asked Marine. So what we are here for? DG, it's about time you know about the true nature of Argent energy, where it actually comes from. OMA, well, it's mentioned on the Liger Sultagina briefly as the main reason for the Knights Sentinels rebelled against the Makers and started the civil war in Argent Nur, but we didn't finish translating the rest of the text yet. SH, that's correct. But there's more to it. Tell them, Marine. Tell what the Knights Sentinels found in the boiling seas of hell. The Marine then described how Argent energy was a purified version of the hell essence, and how the essence was actually the souls of the innocents, corrupted by the fires of hell, captured by the demons during their unholy wars with the knowledge of the Khan Maker, who was seduced by the fact that Argent energy prolonged her lifetime indefinitely, as long as she had a steady supply of it. Dr. Hayden continued, telling them of the unholy pact the Makers and the Dark Lord signed, with the Makers granting access to entire worlds that they co-opted to their dominion, as long as the demons let the Khan Maker harvest the hell essence. Jean, Dr. Roman, and Olga were speechless, and they remained in silence until Jean herself decided to break the ice. JDA, and what happened to the Knights Sentinels? DG, just like I said before, they're all dead. DR, I think what she meant to say is how that happened, Marine. DG, we fought the Civil War until we had enough strength to assault the Soul Spires and destroy the evil committed there, to interrupt the flow of Argent energy to Urdak. SH, but they were betrayed by their own allies in the end. The Order of the Deeg opened the portal to Necrovol, only to trap the Legion of Knights Sentinels in an ambush against millions of demons. They fought bravely until the very end to free Argenta, only to be betrayed by those they swore to protect. And to make it even worse, Commander Valen, also known as the Betrayer, handed over the wraiths to the now demonified Deegrov, damning the ancient creatures to an eternity of suffering, as I explained before. The Marine and the Betrayer are the only surviving Night Sentinels. Ome, and what about Argenta? What happened to it? DG, the entire planet was absorbed into hell, becoming another trophy for the Demonkind's conquest. SH, that was also the time when he became their worst nightmare, the Doomed Slayer. Wanting to honor his men's final request, he rampaged through the Dark Realm for countless eons. Alone, he almost extinguished demonkind, killing any demonic creature who dared to cross his path. He'd have succeeded if he hadn't been captured and entombed for millions of years in a stone sarcophagus near, guarded by the demons themselves to make sure he wouldn't return ever again. OMA, I would have called that insanity if I haven't seen it for myself, firsthand. I just don't understand how could the Makers do something so evil and cruel like that. SH, it's simple. The Khan Maker thought herself to be the epitome of creation and its supreme god, even though she was just part of a dying race. It was basically the ends justify the means for her. Ome, one last thing. If the Marine really destroyed Argent energy, where does the Argent we're using comes from? SH, it comes from the demonic crucible. OMA, The same one from the Mars incident? SH. Yes. It can generate pure Argent energy by itself. That's why I took it back to Earth with me. The Marine only allowed it to be used as a power source for the fortress because we didn't have enough time to find another one. But I think I know why he took an interest in the Ark of the Covenant. DR. You plan to find a way to use it as a new power source. It's that, right? DG. Yes. And that would be all from us. Does anyone have more questions? No one of the three raised their hands or asked anything else. DG. I'll be going then. Doctor. I'll be waiting for you in the lab. DR. Okay. I'll be on my way soon. Doom Guy left the room, making his way towards the room. As the director and Dr. Roman were leaving the room, Jean decided to ask one last question to Dr. Hayden. JDA. Dr. Hayden, is by any chance the Marine and the Outlander the same person? SH. I see that you've done your research, Ms. Dark. And yes, he's the Outlander too. JDA. And did he ever told you where he actually came from? Isiachi. No. He never spoke a word about it. I'm afraid you'll have to ask him about that. JDA. One day, I'll be able to. Thanks, Dr. Hayden. Jean left the room, heading to her dorm room. She needed some time to absorb and analyze everything that was said today. But one thing she was sure of, the Marine was still hiding something. But it would take a lot of time to make him comfortable to actually talk about it. One day, he'll be ready. Until that happens, I'll support him in any way I can. Jean thought to herself as she opened the door to her room and closed it behind her. Former Earth's Chaldea, Orbit, Fortress of Chaldea's Science Laboratory, 1,300 hours. The next month was very busy for the Marine and Chaldea. He and Dr. Roman spent most of the time in the lab, working on the Ark of the Covenant, with Lily watching the two work quietly. But sometimes she would want to play with Doom Guy, and to Dr. Roman's surprise, he was able to do work and play with her at the same time, as if he could split in two. Thanks to the calculations from Dr. Hayden, they were very close to finally turning it into an efficient and reliable power source, much more than the demonic crucible could ever be. And the Marine couldn't wait to store the demonic crucible in the Predator suit's inventory and forget its existence, permanently, if possible. Today was the final test for the machine that would extract the energy from the Ark. DG. So doctor, can we start? DR. Absolutely. I made sure to warn everyone that the lights of the fortress will go out for a brief while. And we should have enough reserve power to maintain the life support systems for at least 1 hour. So, go ahead and make the honors. Doom Guy removed the crucible from the power station, put the Ark in its place, and he turned the station on. It was just in time for Jean to come in and see the entire room be covered in a light blue tint, and no one in the room could see anything. When the hue finally subsided, the Ark was floating inside the power station, and instead of the reddish light that used to be everywhere on the fortress, a deep azure blue took its place. The experiment was a success. Dr. Roman immediately analyzed the results of the trial in one of the computers nearby, astonished by the results. JDA. Master, did you succeed? Did your hard work finally pay off? DR. Yes. We've successfully replaced the demonic crucible as the power source for our base. And with the amount of this new type of energy generated here, we could provide electricity for planet Earth for all eternity. Now we only need a new name for this new energy. Oime, how about Sentinel Energy? Director Olga said it behind Dr. Roman, who turned around to see her stand right beside him. DR. Oh, Director. Good to see you. What brings you here? Oime, isn't that obvious? I came to see how you guys were doing, but I can see that it went just as you two expected. DR. Thanks to Dr. Hayden too. And the Marine's diligence was essential in achieving our goals here. I'm just curious as to why you chose Sentinel as the name for our new energy. Oime, if it wasn't for the Marine's aid, we would be probably all dead by now. It's just a small token of gratitude for those who came before us and the Marines' efforts. Also, it was the name of the ancient Wraith energy, so I think it fits well. JDA. That's really generous, Ms. Olga. Oime, now that everything is said and done, I've got a message for you, Marine. Da Vinci said your package is ready to deliver. DG. Okay, tell her I'll be there soon. Oime, good. See you guys around then. The director's hologram started to disappear, and she left the science lab. Before he could leave the science lab, with Lily sitting on his left shoulder, the Marine was stopped by Jean, a cheerful smile on her face. JDA. Congratulations, Master. I would like to celebrate your success with you today. Are you free today? DG. Yeah, I just need to go to Da Vinci's workshop and get my plasma rifle back. JDA. I'll accompany you there. Shall we go now? The three left the room, with Jean taking the Marine's hand and guiding him to the cafeteria, where she asked Koheim, who was at the time in charge of the kitchen, to make a feast for them. As they were sitting down at the table, the Marine noticed that things appeared to have returned to normal, thanks to David's intervention at the right time, before the situation escalated further. His mental monologue was interrupted by the literal mountain of food that was put on the table. Both Jean and Lily started to gulp down the food, while Doomguy was calmly eating a hamburger while watching the two go at it. They quickly had their fill, and only the clean, white plates remained in the place of the large amount of food that was once there. They made small talk for some minutes, until Jean noticed Lily was falling asleep, and she notified the Marine. After picking Lily up, the two left her for her dorm, where the Marine laid Lily down in her bed, and Jean covered her with the bed's blankets, making it as comfortable as possible. The Marine and Jean quietly exited Lily's dorm, not making a sound, and swiftly closed the door. Once again taking the Marine's hand, she guided him straight to the music studio, where they practiced and played some music until it was very late. Looking at the time in the watch, Dr. Roman gave her alongside the casual clothes from before. She asked Doomguy to accompany her to her room. The two quickly arrived at the door to Jean's bedroom. JDA. Today was quite fun, wasn't it, Master? DJ. It was. JDA. However, now that you mentioned it, I can't help but think we forgot something. DG. Da Vinci. I forgot to pass by Da Vinci's workshop and get my weapon back. Now I'll never hear the end of it from her. JDA. I'm sure she'll understand it. Good night, Master. See you tomorrow. Jean suddenly gave a little peck where his right cheek would be and smiled, before closing the door. Doomguy immediately perked up and headed straight for Da Vinci's workshop, ready to hear the essay Da Vinci believably had prepared for him. Former Earth's Chaldea, orbit, Fortress of Chaldeas, reception area, 1,000 hours. After spending most of his night hearing everything between heaven and earth from Da Vinci, she let the Marine go, with a warning not to forget about his appointments ever again. On the way back to his room, he bumped into Dr. Roman, who appeared to be looking for him. He had already found the next singularity, and that Jean was already waiting for him on the teleporter pad in the reception area. It appeared that this time they were going to a more modern era, London, 1888, during the zenith of the British Empire and the Second Industrial Revolution. After picking up everything he needed from his room, he immediately went for the teleporter pad, where Jean was quietly waiting for him. After saying the usual goodbye to Lily, who appeared to be also getting closer to Jean as well, the Marine and Jean stepped in the portal, which instantly transported them to the home of Big Ben. Chapter 5, Part 1. Into the Night of Rebellion City. Shadwell, London, 1888, 1,300 hours. BGM, Awake, Castlevania. DR. Transference successful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Smoke, London town, with a big emphasis on the smoke part, since I can't really see anything. Fog. No, could it be smoke? It's extremely dense. In the sky, I can see the same circle of light as before. But with all this fog and pollution, it's obscured. Gee, this is no normal fog or pollution, Doctor. JDA, you're right. This fog reeks of evil, just like every time we've entered a den full of demons. DG, this fog is the same one that covers the blood swamps near Necroville. DR, you mean the same one where the refuse from the soul spires is discarded? DG, DR, it does seem to be the case. The air is dense with malevolent magical energy, and it's poisonous to any life forms. Are you two feeling anything? JDA, I'm fine, and Master's fine too. However, this smell is unbearable. Can we go somewhere away from this fog? The Marine looked up in the map Dr. Roman kindly sent to him before the trip. Not that he really needed it, since he frequently went to the UK during his time with the USSMC during their annual exercises with the Royal Space Marines. He knew this city like the palm of his hand. DG, we're near Whitechapel, in the district of Shadwell. We should be able to exit this pocket of fog and find some fresher air if we walk down the street in a Whitechapel itself. Let's move on. Doomguy started to descend the street, with Jean following him close by. When they got close to an intersection, both sensed a presence coming from deep within the fog. It wasn't a monster, neither a human, but a servant. It seems the servant felt their presence from a mile away, since it was approaching them at a fast pace. Seconds later, the duo could hear the heavy footsteps of metal stepping into the stony surface of the street. The servant finally showed itself. It was a woman that was eerily similar to King Arthur in physical appearance. Even her face was somewhat similar to Artoria's, wearing an adorned knight's armor. She yelled at the two, asking them, "Who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here?" Jean tried to calm down the servant, only to be shut down by it a second later. JDA, you're breathing in a place with that dense fog without croaking. You two obviously aren't ordinary humans. So which is it, friend or foe? Jean retreated, going back to the Marine's side, and whispered in his ear. JDA, so Master, any idea on who that servant might be? DG, not a clue. Our only lead is that she looks like Artoria. DR, I see. I'm also wondering the same. There's too much magical energy in the area. I can't get a clear reading. But look at that armor. She's definitely not a typical London citizen. I thought things would be easier since we're limited to a city. This is quite troublesome. We have no clue who she is. Help me, Magi Mari. Speak louder. I can't hear you. JDA. What a bother. If you're not doing to attack, well, whatever. I have nothing to do here. Sorry to bother you. The fog is dense around here. You'd better move if you value your life. DG. We can take care of ourselves. Yeah. Well, see you around. The female servant turns around and she enters one of the alleys, disappearing in the fog in an instant. DR. And there she goes to the alley to the north, right into the dense fog, all alone, confident. And she's very impatient too. I wonder if she's a London girl. JDA. It sounded like she knew what was going on. She probably knows more than us about the current situation in London. We should follow her. DG. Agreed. Let's go after her. DR. I was just about to say that. But then she just had to go and disappear on me. JDA. Doctor, we understand. DR. Yes, sorry. All right, time for you two to get moving. I'll keep an eye out for any threats. Following the same path the unknown servant took a few moments ago, the Marine and Jean reached another street when a strange sound of gears spinning and steam being released started to follow them, getting closer and closer by the second. The duo readied their weapons, preparing to face whatever was stalking the two from the inside the deep fog that enclosed them. JDA, what is that sound? DG. It appears to be some sort of machine. DR. Yep. No vital signs detected. Only 3 bodies coming in your direction, very fast. JDA. The sound is approaching. They're getting closer. Master. DR. 3 targets closing in at high speed. Assume they're hostile. Destroy them before you're surrounded. Be careful, Marine, Jean. JDA. Master, your orders. DG. Eliminate all threats. JDA. Understood. The Marine fired his shotgun in the direction of one of the figures that were hiding inside the fog around them. The shot tore out the arm of the figure, the pellets making a metallic sound when they entered in contact with the thing inside the fog. Whatever they were, those things were definitely not human. Then, the figures in the mist finally decided to present themselves, trying to attack both Jean and the Marine at the same time. The things appear to be mechanical, an automaton of some sort with a female figure and disproportional arms adorning their upper body. They spun around, trying to hit Jean or the Marine with her arms. Switching the shotgun for the super shotgun, Doomguy blasted one of the automata to high heaven, leaving only a pile of gears and broken porcelain parts all around. Jean stopped one of the spinning automata, putting her lance in between its rotating limbs and breaking them instantly, and she finished it off by smashing the head of the thing with her foot. The last one tried one last attack on the duo, rushing at them with great speed, only to have its body pierced by Jean's lance and be destroyed by the Marine's super shotgun, the blast from the firearm obliterating the top part of its body. The sound of gears and steam stopped when all automata were destroyed, signifying that they won't be bothered by them. For now, at least. JDA. That's the last of them. What are those things, Marine? DG. Some type of automaton, an artificial being. They appear to be made of machinery of this era and animated by Magecraft. DR. I thought so. Who knew something like that would be lurking in the fog? No wonder nobody's emerged from any buildings. Since no doors or windows seem to be kicked in, that must mean they don't break into houses, right? Strange. They're really quite strange. DG. Maybe they're programmed not to. DR. That's an interesting possibility. Perhaps that servant from before can tell us more. JDA. Definitely, Doctor. We should continue our search for her, Master. DR. One last thing. Even with the pre-suit sensor, I won't be able to give you any advance warning. All of my magical detection readings are in a state of chaos. I only have motion detection at best. This is quite concerning. DG. We'll manage, Doctor. Let's continue, Jean. JDA. Yes, Master. They left the remains of the trio of automata behind them while moving forward in the direction the servant went, taking them right to the Whitechapel district. Whitechapel, London, 1888, 1,400 hours. BGM, Victorian Fear, Castlevania. The Marine and Jean were immediately attacked by more automatons as soon as they set foot on the main street of Whitechapel. Whoever or whatever was controlling these things wanted them dead as soon as possible. Unfortunately for the automata, they didn't know who they were dealing with. Seeing a building in construction nearby, Doomguy changed his super shotgun for the rocket launcher and fired at the main pillar that was supporting the structure. The building collapsed, shattering the group of automata beneath the debris. However, Jean felt a presence near them. This wasn't more of those mechanical things. It appeared to be human, but at the same time, it wasn't. This upset her, making Jean stay on the edge. DG. Is something wrong, Jean? JDA. Yes, Marine. There's a strange presence coming toward us. DR. More automatons? Or is it the girl from earlier? Is she nearby? London girls are quite quick on their feet, aren't they? JDA. No. I don't know how to put it, but it feels human, but it doesn't at the same time. DR. Well, there are multiple readings, but they're silent, unlike the enemies from before. They move in a different pattern, but they're definitely our enemies. Here they come. Emerging from one of the forks in the street they had stopped by, 5 humanoid creatures emerged from the fog, blocking their path. Their skin appeared to be covered in a white substance that appeared to imitate fur, and on top of its featureless face, 3 black oval shapes were looking in all directions. The creatures wasted no time in attacking our heroes, swinging their arms around to try and hit them. With the chain gun, the Marines shot down the nearest 2 monstrosities, dispatching them instantly. The bodies of the monsters dissolved into some kind of viscous goo, the liquid rapidly descending to the inside of the street's gully. As the remaining creatures tried to reach her, Jean tore through them, cutting and stabbing the heads and arms of the monsters. One lone monster, missing his left arm, tried to grab Jean, only to be shot down by Doom Guy, who used his plasma rifle to burn the creature until it became almost like charcoal. The street became quiet again. DR, all enemies have been defeated. Good work, you two. Also, these aren't the automatons you've faced before. These were homunculi. JDA, homunculi? DG, an artificial human, created using magecraft. It was one of the goals of medieval alchemists. DR, correct. They say Paracelsus was the first to create a homunculus, but there's no evidence to support that. JDA, I see. That's quite tragic, even though there are enemies. DR, and speaking of enemies, there are more of them coming towards you. Be careful. JDA, all right, Doctor. Master, prepare for battle. And prepare the Marine was, as he fired his rocket launcher at the oncoming group of automata and homunculus approaching the two from one of the intersections of the street they were making their stand on. The rockets destroyed the first row of monsters, but the others passed through, reaching their position in a flash and surrounding them from all sides. As the creatures tried to pounce on them, the Marine switched to the chain gun and activated the energy shield, protecting the duo from all the attack, while making their enemies bounce off the shield. The Marine smashed a homunculus and an automaton with the energy shield, turning them into a pile of scrap metal and goo right after. 2 homunculus tried to catch Jean off guard. Only for when they were about to grab her, she crouched down and rolled forward, making the homunculi hug one another. Jean quickly dispatched them, effortlessly decapitating them with her lance. Only 2 automatons and a homunculus had survived when the homunculus grabbed one of the automata and threw it at the Marine, only for it to be dismantled by the chain gun rapid-firing, blue-hot EMG rounds. After it saw its compatriot being attacked by the homunculus, the last remaining automaton attacked the homunculus, and the 2 engaged in a mortal fight. Seizing this opportunity, Doomguy launched a frag grenade at the 2 quarreling monsters, too distracted to notice the grenade bounce in their direction. 3 seconds later, the grenade detonated, obliterating the 2 creatures in a sec. After making sure they've defeated all of their enemies, Jean let a sigh of relief. JDA, it seems we've done it again. Good work, Master. DG, you too, Jean. DR, finally. From what I can infer, all enemies were destroyed. There are none left as far as I can detect. Just proceed ahead. Jean and the Marine did just that, carefully moving down the street, paying attention to anything that was into their field of view. When they turned right into another intersection, an immense construct that looked like a strange robot was waiting for them, wielding a large blade. Steam could be seen coming out from the back of the thing. JDA, it's large. It's almost the same size as the Doom Hunter we faced in Rome. DR, it would have been a rather romantic story if Britain's Secret Service had arranged for a special vehicle, or if this era's Mages Association had sent a mechanical golem to save the citizens of London. I doubt that's the case here. It's clearly an enemy, and it's coming for you. JDA, Marine, look out. Jean jumped in the Marine's direction, grabbing him by his armor's pauldron, and she pushed him out of the way of the blade of the giant automaton. The giant blade hit the ground, spilling pavement pieces and rocks everywhere. After recovering from Jean's heroic act, the 2 started to attack the giant golem, firing some ice grenades into the armor of the automaton, turning it into solid ice. The Marine fired sticky bombs into them, exposing the wiring of the thing after the bombs detonated. Jean attacked these exposed spots, driving her lance deep into them. The strikes impaired the golem, making it unable to move around anymore. Its only method to attack now consisting of trying to hit the duo whenever they got closer to it. Having enough of the automaton's blade, the Marine blew it up with the rocket launcher's remote detonation, destroying the hand of the thing in the process. Seeing the opportunity to finish the creature for good, Jean went behind the thing and pierced its back with her lance. After forcing the blade deep into the back of the monster, it finally stopped moving, its arms now touching the ground and the head tilted forward. After retrieving her lance, Jean went back to the Marine's side when he suddenly grabbed her and knelt down, in a motion of protecting her. Seconds later, the automaton exploded, pieces of flaming metal flying everywhere. The Predator suit shielded the Marine and Jean, protecting them from the deadly projectiles. JDA, that was close. Thanks for protecting me, Marine. DG, don't mention it. DR. That was interesting. I'm wondering what sort of thing is that? Maybe it's a robot? Whatever it was, now it's nothing but a tin can. DR, after you guys are done with it, it definitely became one. I'll analyze the footage and see if I can find anything useful. You guys should get going now, before anything else appears. JDA, you're right, Doctor. Let's move, Master. The duo continued walking down the street from before, carefully looking into every corner and alleyway that came their way, waiting for anything to jump in front of them. Jean was a little unnerved, her ruler intuition telling her something was following them, a servant to be more precise. Even though it was a very faint feeling on the back of her head, she was ready to engage it at any time. Her thoughts were interrupted as the Marine fired his shotgun at something in front of her. JDA, why did you shoot, Marine? DG, something tried to attack you from behind. A figure of a servant. JDA, my intuition wasn't mistaken. There's something stalking us from the shadows. DG, look, right in front of you. And right on cue, a figure emerged from the shadows, coming from one of the dingy alleyways nearby. Finally showing itself, the appearance of the servant shocked Jean. It was a little girl, in the same age range as Lily, wearing a black cape over her silver hair, scars resting on her innocent face. However, when she noticed the two knives in both of her hands, Jean's body tensed, ready to fight her. The little girl questioned the two, her voice echoing all around them. Hey, what are you exactly? A human? Or a mage? You're moving unhindered within the magical fog, and you seem just fine within our fog as well. I guess you're just like us. JDA, I could ask the same thing. Who are you? We're Jack the Ripper. JDA, we? DG, Jack the Ripper was an infamous serial killer that roamed the streets of London around this era, killing women non-stop. DR, not only that, but he also dismembered them and directly challenged the Scotland Yard, the symbol of terror that swept across England, no, all of Europe at the time. JDA, that's horrible. But at the same time, she just looks like a little, innocent girl. Can she really be able to commit such horrifying acts? DG, this servant appears to be a representation of the killer, more than anything. It also seems to be composed of multiple presences. JDA, now that you mention it, I can feel it too. What should we do, Master? JDR, you know about us? That pleases me. How very nice. In that case, you're aware, then, of what we'll do to you. Oh, I'm so very, very happy. I'm so happy. DR, watch out, guys. She's coming right at you. Jack ran and leapt over Jean, and she tried to stab the Marine multiple times in the chest area, only to find out her blades didn't even leave a single scratch mark on the armor. Using the stock of the shotgun, Doom Guy struck Jack's nape with care, in order to only make her faint. However, he only managed to temporarily stun her, while Jean slapped her across the face. When the Marine tried to restrain Jack, the servant ran back into the mist, disappearing into it. Jean couldn't feel her presence anymore. JDA, she escaped, Marine, and I can't feel her presence anymore. DG, me neither. It appears Jack retreated into the fog. JDA, maybe this is part of her noble phantasm? She mentioned something about her fog. DR, you're not wrong, Jean. Even though most of the mist really is from the blood swamps, part of the fog really was part of her noble phantasm. In short, it was a combination of two different types of fog. But as soon as the servant disappeared, only the mist that's covering most of London remained. JDA, and what about the thing that attacked us earlier, Doctor? DR, you mean the robot? Not a clue. It just looks like some sort of machine that runs on steam. But there's nothing in the records about anything like it. You mean that clump of steel, right? We just call it a helter-skelter. The Marine and Jean turned around to see the servant they first encountered when they arrived in London, standing near them, her sword planted on the ground. JDA, you're the knight from before. Yeah, I've been watching you too. You destroyed one of them, which means you're probably not my enemy. Besides, you fought well, not bad, considering you probably have no idea about the circumstances. Very nice. You guys got guts, and I like people with guts. JDA, since we're not enemies, can we ask you some questions? Very well. I'll talk to you. But first, let me get one thing straight. You're a servant, aren't you? JDA, yes. My name is Jean Dark, and I'm a ruler servant. And who's that guy over there? JDA, he's my master. You can call him the Marine. MRD, Jean and the Marine. Huh? Interesting. I'm Mordred, the Knight of Londinium and the one and the only true heir of Arthur Pendragon and a Knight of the Round Table. I'm here to face the perils in this city, in Father's beloved Britain. Now follow me. JDA, Marine. Did she just mention Arthur? The same King Arthur? DG, you've heard it right, Jean. She's Mordred, the treacherous knight that ended the Arthurian era in Britain. JDA, can we really trust her then? DG, just like other times, let's play nice for now. If anything else happens, we act. MRD, so, are you guys coming or not? I don't have all day. JDA, sorry, we're right behind you. They followed Mordred, and she guided them through the mist, and soon the three disappeared inside the demonic fog covering London. Victorian apartment, London, 1888, 1,700 hours. BGM, Iron Blue Intention, Castlevania. After Mordred got lost in the fog 3 times, she finally found the house she was looking for. She knocked on the door 3 times, and a typical British gentleman opened it, gesturing for the 3 to come inside. "Welcome to my home, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a sit. Do the lady and the gentleman want something to drink? I just got one of those refrigerators things from America." JDA, "No, thank you." "And you, Marine?" DG, "Me neither." MRD, "If you aren't going to drink, I would like some ciders. I've got yours chilled and ready to drink, Saber." MRD, "Having someone like you around sure is useful. Also, Saber, you need to stop giving your true name to strangers right away. We've already talked about this many times. If you're introducing yourself, just state your class. Do you understand? Disclosing your true name is like revealing your abilities. That's the reason servants conceal their true names during normal Holy Grail wars. And yet you give out your true name at the drop of a hat. MRD, "Oh, what's the difference? This is no longer the Holy Grail war that you spoke of. It's not the one with 7 heroic spirits, nor the one with 14. On top of that, there are no masters around. I give up. Anyway, here's your drink." MRD, Sure. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Phew, that's the stuff. It really hits the spot coming out of that demonic fog. And what are you two doing? Don't just stand there. Find a place to sit. My home is your home. This is my temporary base. Our temporary base. Jean sat down in one of the chairs in the living room, while Doomguy stood at her side. The British gentleman sat down on a chair on the opposite side of the room, drinking some tea while he appeared to analyze the 2 foreigners. MRD, "So, is your master going to just stand there and not sit down?" JDA, "About that. Let's just say his armor is very heavy, and I don't think these chairs can sustain the weight." MRD, "Whatever you say then. Oh, we've got a master and a servant here. What a surprise. Can I ask you, wait a minute? How rude of me. I haven't introduced myself. Excuse me for my bad manners. I'm Dr. Henry Jekyll. It's nice to meet you too." JDA, "Likewise, Doctor. I'm Jean d'Arc, and this is my master, the Marine." HJ, "This is a surprise. The famous Holy Maiden from France and an American soldier. Quite the interesting duo." JDA, "American soldier?" HJ, "Forget what I just said. I was just surprised, really. DR, Henry Jekyll, as in the same name as a character in a novel. Coincidence? Or perhaps he was the model for that character. Jean, can you detect the presence of a servant?" "I can't. You're inside, but you might as well be outside." Digi, "Besides Mordred and Jean, there aren't any other servants around." HJ, "And we also have an invisible guest too. You are really an exceptional bunch. But I can guarantee you I'm very much human. If it's a servant you want, they're outside, investigating." "And what were you talking about? A novel?" DG, "There was a book that was published around this time. The main character is also called Henry Jekyll." HJ, "I don't recall that. Strange, as I do read my share of novels. The same name as the main character? Really? I don't think I could forget that. Well, let's set that aside. It is a very common name, after all. As I was saying, I am Henry Jekyll. All I want to do is stop this blight on my hometown. But the more important matter at hand is you folks. You're very different from us, aren't you?" DG, "When not from here, you're correct." MRD, Is that so? And from where you two come from then?" JDA, "From very far into the future. Our mission here is to recover the Holy Grail that's causing all the disturbances in this era, turning it into a singularity." MRD, "So, what you mean is that if we retrieve the Grail, all of this madness will stop?" DG, "Yes, that's it." HJ, "I see. Do you also know where this fog comes from, Mr. Marine?" DG, "It's coming from the blood swamps of hell. It appears someone or something is using it as some sort of weapons against the people of London." HJ, "You mean the literal hell? The place of fire and brimstone?" DG, "It's not only fire and brimstone. Hell has absorbed many worlds into its domain, creating many different regions inside it." HJ, "That would explain some of the strange creatures we saw in the mist." MRD, "You mean the thing that looked like a flying tomato some nights ago was a demon from hell? Is that it?" DG, "Yes, what you killed was a cacodemon. It's a common type of flying demon." HJ, "If what you said is true, we're in more danger than I thought previously. We must hurry. Can I ask something from you two?" JDA, "Sure, we're to help." HJ, "Good. I would like for you two to accompany Mordred in order to help her check on my friend Victor Frankenstein. We usually communicate via radio, but he's not responding to my transmissions ever since this morning." MRD, "Old man Frankenstein's probably just sleeping. It's the only thing he does all day after, and he was safe yesterday at least." HJ, "Still, I fear something terrible may have happened to him. Please, do me this favor and go check on him, okay?" MRD, Fine, you win. We'll go check on him. You two are coming, right? DG. Uh-huh. We're coming with you. MRD. Then watch my back. Let's get this over with. As they were exiting Jekyll's apartment, the three could hear him yell in their direction. HJ. Good luck, my friends. Stay safe. After waving back at him, the trio resumed their walk, entering deeper and deeper into the demonic fog, Mordred leading the way to Victor's Frankenstein mansion, while Dr. Roman was clearly excited at the prospect of actually seeing Frankenstein's workshop and possibly even the monster he created. Dr. Victor Frankenstein. Just when we thought it's just another character from a novel, it turns out to be real, and he's friends with Henry Jekyll. This day can't get any more stranger. DG. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, Doctor. MRD. I can tell you that Old Man Victor is very much real, Invisible Mage. We're now approaching Soho, so you guys better keep your guard up. They'll be here soon. The edge of the city area, where Jekyll's apartment seems relatively peaceful in comparison. This area is no good. We're in their territory now, and they want our blood. DR. And that really is the case. I'm detecting multiple motion signals all around you. It'll be quite the battle, I'm sure of it. Take care. JDA. Right, Doctor. Marine, your orders. DG. Let's deal with them. A well-known growl to the Marine echoed in the street they were moving on. From the mist, multiple purple projectiles shot out of it, aimed at the trio. The Marine and Jean rolled to the side, dodging the projectiles while Mordred cut every single one that was aimed at her. Exiting the fog, multiple cacodemons tried to swarm them. Mordred cursed them, slashing and cutting in half any caco that tried to bite her with their huge, gaping mouths. Jean was doing their part, skewering any demon she could see with her lance. Doomguy knew exactly what tool was right for this job, drawing out the shotgun and shooting 3 sticky bombs in 3 cacodemons' mouths. After gulping down the sticky bombs, the demons exploded in a shower of gore, their green eyeballs rolling in the ground, before turning to red dust. Mordred let out a victory yell, only to see more cacodemons coming to replace their fallen brethren. MRD, damn it. I wish I could use my noble phantasm on those flying tomatoes. They're starting to seriously piss me off. JDA, you can't do that. You're going to hurt innocent people if you do that. I'm sorry, but you must get your temper under control. DG, Jean's right. If your noble phantasm is anything similar to Artoria's, you're going to destroy the whole neighborhood. MRD, I know that, Yankee. We'll just have to get rid of them ourselves. JDA, Yankee? Why are you calling him that? MRD, it's just something I heard when I was summoned here. I just felt that would be a cooler name for your master than just calling him Marine. DG, look alive. The demons are trying to flank us from both sides. Mordred, take care of the right side. MRD, leave it to me. I usually deal with everything by myself. Are you two ready over there? DG always. MRD, then bring it on, Hellspawn. Mordred rushed ahead, impaling a cacodemon right on its green eyeball and popping it, the demon wailing in pain before blowing up and bathing the surroundings with blood. The Marine supported Mordred using the chain gun's mobile turret, quickly eliminating any demon that got too close to her. Jean took care of the rear guard, her lance extremely deadly against her demonic foes since she could easily reach their eyes and tear it from the eye socket, leaving the creature an easy target for either Mordred or the Marine. Soon, they decimated the group of cacos, with the eerily silence returning to the street. Mordred was extremely satisfied with the challenge provided to her, appearing to be excited for the next challenge ahead. The trio continued their mission, continuing in the path that directed them to Victor Frankenstein's mansion. When they were on the street where the mansion was located, Jean's curiosity got the best of her, and she decided to ask Mordred what were the real reasons for her to help them and Jekyll restore London to its normal state, even though she had a feeling she may regret asking her anything. JDA, excuse me, Mordred. Can we talk for a bit? MRD, what was that? Speak up. If you have something to say, just say it already. JDA, very well then. I have a question for you. Why are you fighting here, helping us? Mr. Jekyll is fighting to protect his hometown. But what about you? MRD, I already told you guys, didn't I? I'm here to face the perils of Father's beloved Londinium. DG, I don't think Jean believes you, Mordred. JDA, you see, the Marine is not entirely wrong. However, I just think you may have a different reason for fighting with us. A motive that better suits your personality. MRD, geez, you two really are something else. I guess I can't hide anything from you. I didn't even tell Jekyll about this, you know? Yes, that's right. I just can't allow the land of Britain to be violated by someone other than me. I'm the only one allowed to violate the land King Arthur loved. I can't let anyone else do that. JDA, that is so warped. MRD, HM, did you say something? JDA, no, not at all. MRD, if you want to say something, say it. Anyway, you don't need to worry. I will give you the Holy Grail once we find it. I won't say I want it after all, or anything. And even if I did, it wouldn't serve any purpose. I'm Mordred, the treacherous knight. But this time it's special, and I'll be on the defender's side. Honestly, I was hesitating a bit. Meeting you guys cleared up my mind. JDA, what do you mean? MRD, I meant to say that you guys are worthy of the Holy Grail. You'll take good care of it and clean up this mess. JDA, that's good, coming from you. MRD, and with that out of the way, enough chit-chat. Don't bring up this topic ever again. We're almost at the mansion, but our friends are here again. Well then, shall we rip them apart? DG, let's. MRD, I thought you'd never say that. With her sights locked at the oncoming horde of imps and miniaturized helter-skelters, Mordred dashed onward and kicked one of the imps in the chest, her armored boot piercing through the thorax of the demon when the two hit the street's floor. When a helter-skelter tried to attack her from the left side, she kicked the dead demon at the automaton, and when the body hit its intended target, Mordred slashed the two in half with Clarent, cleaning the blade afterward. When she looked to her right side, Mordred saw the Marine/Yankee and Jean repel a group of those demons, the armored guy using some sort of yellow, loud instrument to rip and tear any monster unfortunate enough to be on his way, with extreme prejudice. Mordred wanted one of these instruments for herself immediately. His servant was just as deadly as he was, Jean piercing heads and limbs, using her lance with deadly precision. Their weapons were effective even against the helter-skelters, easily cutting through their armor like they were made of wet paper. Not wanting to let them have all the fun, Mordred joined the fray, insulting and slashing at the monstrosities with great enthusiasm, racking up quite the kill count. In less than 15 minutes, the horde was reduced to a single imp that tried to escape the battle, only to be stopped by the super shotgun's meat hook piercing its chest and drag the demon back to where the trio was, the creature meeting its end at the tip of the blade of Jean's lance, the blade penetrating the heart of the creature and killing it. With the threat gone, the Marine and the rest of the party finally arrived at Frankenstein's mansion. However, when they noticed the gate was left open, they knew something was wrong, and when the front door of the mansion opened, and what appeared in front of the door, its clothes soaked with blood, the trio knew the worst had happened. MRD, hey you, Scarecrow, or are you a living statue? Whatever you are, you stink like hell. It's like blood, guts, and fire all mixed together. And the catalyst for the old man's favorite elemental spell. I can smell it from here. You killed him, didn't you? You murdered Victor Frankenstein. Yes, I did. Well, no, let me see. Just a moment, please. Indeed, indeed. That elderly man will not open his mouth, brush his teeth, eat food, or breathe ever again. Yes, yes. Frankly speaking, I'm certain he is dead. It's a shame. He refused to join our cause. Right till the very end. But, and yet, however, who killed Victor Frankenstein? That might be quite a difficult question to answer. Because he blew himself up. JDA. Oh my, did I scare the beautiful young lady? My apologies. As you can see, I am a demon after all. Not really. That was a joke, and I'm sorry for letting you down, but I'm actually a heroic spirit. I'm a servant just like you. My class will be caster. Well, folks, you don't get it, do you? MRD. That's enough. Shut up. No, I'm sure you got that. Do you wonder why I reveal my class so easily? It is reasonable during a Holy Grail war, unlike any other. At least that lady over there knows why. An encounter instantly becomes an all-out battle. As we are servants without masters, we can be called the most powerful forces on the earth. Sadly, it seems that you do have a master. What a pity. Best you protect yourself well. Otherwise, in no time. MRD, I said, enough with the small talk. And wipe that grin off your face right now. Pardon? Can you repeat the last part? MRD, that smirk of a smile. So annoying. Was it really that fun to kill that old man? Well, yes. Of course it was fun. Once he rejected our cause, it was like a job for me, so to speak. MRD, what cause? When you're obligated to do something, it's usually quite a nuisance indeed. But still, it feels good to do your best. You will work hard for a job you enjoy. His expression at the moment he died. The face of a human who understood the transition from life to death. Despair. Sorrow. Ah, that is exactly it. Well, anyway, something like that killed my boredom. At least, I guess. MRD. I see now. Well, immigrant or not, that old man was a citizen of Britain. Listen, you took him. You put your hand on my stuff without my permission. Do you know what will happen to you? What? MRD. I'm saying, I'm going to kill you, you dumbass clown. Well, well, well. You? Killing me? Can you really? You seem to be a hot-blooded person. Good, that's fine. I'll try not to disappoint you then. You might as well watch out for the explosions. My noble phantasm has already been set up. By my true name, Mephistopheles. I shall relish striking you. As he was about to finish his sentence, an effigy hit the face of the servant, knocking down several of his teeth and leaving various lacerations on his cheeks, the blood smearing the makeup of the clown. He fell backward And when he started to stumble in the porch of the mansion, trying to get back on his feet, he found himself facing a tall, green-armored, aiming a double-barreled blunderbuss at his chest. He tried to talk his way out of this one, with the man only answering by firing his weapon, ending the life of the servant. Mordred was stunned. She didn't even saw or heard the Marine/Yankee move, and a second later, the annoying demon was gone, dissolving with an expression of fear on his face. At least, Mordred got what she wished for. Still, he was very impressed with her ally's talents. She couldn't wait to see more of him in action before returning to the matter at hand. MRD. Good riddance, Yankee. That stupid clown deserved every pellet you put on his stupid face. JDA. Indeed. I just feel sorry for Mr. Jekyll. This terrible news will leave him devastated. DG. Unfortunately, we were too late. MRD. No use in lamenting now. And since we came all the way to here, we should see if there's anything useful here and bring any supplies back to Jekyll's house. Follow me, I'll show you around. The trio spent some time searching the mansion for anything they deemed valuable, and after some hours had passed, they all encountered each other in the last, but the widest room in the mansion, the one they saved for last, the large library/laboratory, where Frankenstein spent his days doing all sorts of experiments and dabbling with magecraft. On one of the many tables that were all around the room, Jean found a hastily scribbled note, probably written by Frankenstein before that devil of servant murdered him in cold blood. She told the Marine about her findings, handing over the note to him. Mordred tried to get a peek from his shoulders, trying to read what was inscribed on the piece of paper. The note says, I learned of a certain plot. Its name is Project Demonic Fog, though its present state is still unknown. The three leaders of the project are P, B, and M, and they can cast spells beyond human wisdom. Probably heroic spirits. That's all he wrote. MRD. I see. I must say, he was a diligent old man until the very end. JDA. The M is probably the servant from earlier, Mephistopheles. We need to take this back to Jekyll. That Project Demonic Fog thing the note mentioned seems to be something very evil. We must hurry back. As they were pondering on the meaning of what they read on the piece of paper, the Marine heard something crash into one of the nearby bookshelves. The sudden loud sound had put Jean and Mordred on a state of alert, both wielding their weapons in expectation of finding another enemy inside the library. Super shotgun ready, Doomguy moved to where the sound came from, with Jean and Mordred following him. Arriving at the back of the library, the Marine found a young woman buried beneath the bookshelf she herself knocked down. After Doomguy moved the bookshelf away and helped the young woman get back on her feet, the party noticed each of her two eyes was of a different color and that some sort of horn sat on the middle of her, besides the strange apparatus in her neck. The young woman let out a wheeze, as if she was trying to speak, but something deterred her from saying a word. JDA. A girl? Who is she? MRD. I don't know. But is that a horn on her forehead? DG. Yes, she does have a horn. MRD. Hey, are you a servant? Just like us? Or are you a human? DR. I can't really determine what she is, but her vitals are normal. It's a signature I've never seen before. And what about you, Mordred, Jean? Can you guys feel anything? MRD. All I can say is that she's definitely a servant, but not a normal one. JDA. I was about to say the same thing. Her energy doesn't feel natural at all. It's almost as if she shouldn't exist in the first place. DG. I know what she is. DR. Wait, can she really be? DG. Frankenstein's monster. That's what she is. An artificial human created by Victor Frankenstein, just like in the novel. DR. Amazing. So she really is Frankenstein's monster. But didn't it burn up in the end, according to the novel? DG. I think we've arrived before that part of the novel, just after Frankenstein succeeds in giving life to his creation. DR. I wonder if she can hear my voice. Let's see. Are you Frankenstein's monster? Oh. MRD. I don't think she understands you, Doctor. Or vice versa. What about you, Jean? Can you understand anything? JDA. Sadly, not a single word. I don't think she can speak. DG. I can. MRD. Really? What did she say before? DG. Stop calling me a monster. JDA. Then what we should call her? DG. What about Fran? MRD. Sounds good to me. Hey, Fran. Do you like your new name? FRN. JDA. She seems to be happy with the name. All right, Ms. Fran. FRN. DG. Yes. JDA. You are an artificial human. Is that correct? FRN. DG. But I'm not a servant, since I'm still alive. JDA. We were wrong then. Still, we can't just leave you here. MRD. No problem. I'm sure Jekyll will take good care of her. FRN. DG. What about Papa? Where is he? JDA. I'm sorry, Miss Fran. Your father isn't here anymore. A terrible man killed him before we could rescue him. But don't worry. We'll take good care of you. Right, Marine? DG. Of course. MRD. And since she's not an ordinary human, the fog should have zero impact on her. Let's go back to Jekyll's house, everyone. We gotta tell him the bad news. Leaving the mansion via the back door, the Marine and the others were on their way back to Jekyll's apartment, taking Fran with them. During the entirety of the walk back, Fran had a firm hold both on the Marine and Jean, while she appeared to be mourning her creator's demise with a sad wail. Both the Marine and Jean felt pity for her, letting her do as she pleased during the returning trip. Jekyll would be quite surprised by what would knock on his door very soon. Jekyll's apartment, London, 1888, 1100 hours. The news of Frankenstein's tragic death greatly impacted Mr. Jekyll. He had not talked during the preceding night, only finally speaking some words near the end of the morning, while he was performing some medical exams on Fran to make sure that she had no health issues due to her status as an artificial human. H.J. Victor Frankenstein was a great man. He was a reserved man, but he never harmed anyone during his pursuit of knowledge and scientific achievements, only seeking them for the betterment of humanity, not for glory. And he was a good friend too. He didn't deserve such a horrible death. We lost a great man yesterday. JDA. I'm sorry, Mr. Jekyll. I can only offer you my condolences, and may God guide his soul into his eternal kingdom. MRD. Don't worry, Jekyll. Our friend here made sure his killer was properly punished for this transgression by putting a hole in the chest of that wretched demon. HJ, I guess that does provide some solace, even if this may sound sort of twisted coming from me. Fran abruptly held Jekyll's left arm, and she pushed him away from her, growling at Mr. Jekyll with visible anger in her eyes. MRD. I don't need the Marine to translate what she said for me to understand what's happening here. You touched around her body, insisting it was a necessary medical exam, without her permission, and it angered her. Apologize to her, Jekyll. HJ, how disgraceful of me. I was so engrossed at the prospect of analyzing the first artificial human created in the history world that I forgot that she was a woman. I'm so very sorry, Miss Fran. This was an unforgivable mistake for an English gentleman. I hope you can forgive me. Fran then takes both of Jekyll's hands and gives him a bear hug, squeezing him like a teddy bear. Even though he lost all the air in his lung, Jekyll knew that Fran wasn't aware of her immense strength. And after she released him for her grip, he did his best to hide the wheezing and the gulps of air he was breathing in order to not upset Fran. She then gestured and expressed herself again. FRN, DG. She said that everything is fine as long as you don't do that again and ask for permission before you do anything else like that again. HJ, I'm happy that you don't hold a grudge against me, Ms. Fran. Anyway, Ms. Fran is definitely a human from this era. An artificial human, but still very much like one. She's not a servant, even though she possesses far greater strength and possibly speed than a normal human and, presumably, some servants too. MRD. Then she'll have to stay with you here, Jekyll. The threats we face in the streets of the city are too much for her to handle. At least, you'll feel much safer with her here with you. HJ. I suppose you're right, Saber. Also, last night another case came through my information network. Something strange is happening in Soho. Some sort of creature is breaking into the houses of innocent civilians, putting them in a state of deep slumber. Some deaths caused by this strange event were also reported. MRD. But the homunculi and the helter-skelters. HJ. Never try to enter any house or building until now. At least, not according to my information network and your patrols. What is entering buildings and attacking civilians appears to be a book as big as a human, according to some reports. I decided to tentatively call them magical tomes. I want you to deal with this. Whether this is related to Project Demonic Fog is uncertain, but at the very least, there have been victims in Soho. I need your help. Will you do it? Digi. We'll be heading there with Mordred shortly. JDA. You can count on us, Mr. Jekyll. We'll do our best. HJ. Thank you. Saber, please take good care of our friends. MRD. Who do you think I am? I'll take care of them. I'm Mordred, not a third-rate knight. FRNA. Holding onto the arms of both the Marine and Jean, Fran was rooted in the spot, determined to not let the two go back into the street. FRN. Papa. JDA. How adorable. She doesn't want us to go, Master. Don't worry, Ms. Fran. You'll not feel lonely. Mr. Jekyll is here to take care of you. DG. Be a good girl, Fran, and keep Mr. Jekyll safe. We'll be right back. FRN. Fran loosed the grip on their arms, and she let go of the two, and the party made their way to Soho, with Fran waving at them from the window of the apartment, wailing some sort of goodbye. During the excursion to Soho, Mordred was thinking out loud about magical books and tomes, with Dr. Roman surprised that someone with her background never saw one during her lifetime. He also took the opportunity to question her about how was Britain during the time of King Arthur. MRD. A huge book, a magical tome, huh? This type of monster didn't exist in Britain back in my day. DR. Is that so? But didn't all kinds of monsters exist back in the times of the Arthurian legends? Have you never seen anything like the one Mr. Jekyll's informants talked about during your lifetime? MRD. Obviously. The Knights of the Round Table even fought dragons and giants. Deep woods, steep mountains, bluffs with unceasing winds. Realms that humans never dare to cross are prime dens for phantasmals. They come down to human dwellings every so often, and, well, ordinary humans usually end up as their food. DR. I would not have expected anything less from them. MRD. Exactly. Average soldiers are no match for demonic beasts, dragons, or phantasmals. Even your era, most weapons are useless. But there are exceptions. For example, your guy here can efficiently kill pretty much anything with his strange weaponry, and even his fists. For the Britain of my time, it was us, the Knights of the Round Table. We fought well and killed a reasonable number, you know? Battling a phantasmal is pretty rough, you know? Oh, and them, the Picts. DR, we all heard of them. In our time, they're seen as a very mysterious people. A tribe that once flourished mainly in Scotland. Or so we were told they were like that. MRD, well, rather than people, they weren't like any tribes or barbarians. They were far beyond any of them. Describing it in terms of your era, they were like something that would be in a sci-fi movie. You know? Aliens? Or something like that. Yes, that's a close one. MRD, an Arthurian joke? That a good one. DG, I don't think she was joking. MRD, joke? No, I wasn't joking at all. Now, wait a minute. That sound, and that presence. I sense a group of automata coming our way. JDA, it's a battle then. Marine, what should we do? DG, the usual, get rid of them. MRD, can't wait to turn those dolls into scrap metal. Coming from all sides of the crossroads they pulled their stops on, the automata immediately surrounded them, halting their progress. But this meant nothing for the Marine and the rest, since before the group automata even started to attack the group, some of them were already being destroyed by the party, especially by the Marine, who deployed the mobile turret before Mordred could even start to rip the limbs of an unfortunate automata that she was crushing under her armored boot. It was another toy she added to her wish list, given the destruction it wrought upon the automatons, turning them into chunks of alloy and bolts in a matter of seconds. After she decapitated the last of the automata, when Jean pierced it with her lance and held it in place, Mordred decided it was already time to act. She raised Clarent at the Marine, the tip of the sword a few centimeters away from his neck. He just stood there, almost looking as if he was for her to strike him. Jean, dismayed after seeing this, immediately got in between Mordred and her beloved Marine. She would not let this treacherous knight hurt him. Jean was very serious about this last part. Her furious gaze did make Mordred think about it twice before she reassured herself, and she decided to continue with her task. Jean broke the silence, fierceness present in her voice. JDA, what are you doing, Mordred? What's the meaning of this? MRD, it's simple, ruler girl. I just wish to test your master. JDA, test? What sort of test? MRD, you see, I want to serve a strong and capable master. And ever since we met, I wanted to see if your guy was a suitable candidate for that position. Needless to say, he passed my primary test with flying colors. So get out of my way. This is between me and him now. JDA, master, what we do now? I know Dr. Roman would be happy with you bring more servants back to Chaldea, but I don't like this. DG, we don't really have a choice, Jean. It's not like Mordred would listen to anyone. She won't stop at nothing until she gets what she wants. JDA, you're right, Marine. Still, that's not how it should be. But from the little time we've spent with Mordred, I know that she's not one to accept no as an answer. MRD, you bet. I will not stop until either one of us is on the ground. And if I have to defeat Servant to fight the Master, so be it. That won't be necessary. I accept your challenge, Mordred. MRD, good. But since this is a duel between knights, this means you can't use your strange weapons in this fight, unless you pretend to fight me with only your fists. DG, happy to oblige. As he was preparing to fight Mordred with his bare hands, Jean stopped Doomguy before handing over her sword to him, the one she always carried around with her, but rarely used in battle. JDA, here, Marine. Use my sword. What's mine is also yours. May my blade bring victory to you. Good luck. DG, thank you, Jean. MRD, okay, that's enough already. This is so sweet, I'm getting indigestion, ugh. So, are we doing this or not? DG, ready when you are. MRD, prepare yourself then, Yankee, because I'm going to mop the floor with you. BGM, the Night of Rebellion, Fate/Apocrypha. Both the Marine and Mordred assumed their respective combat stances, facing one another. With the light coming from the street's light pole above them, Mordred was finally able to make out some of the Marine's facial features. But what shocked her the most was his eyes and the look on them. Those green, fierce, determined eyes brought back many memories. For a brief second, Mordred thought she was actually looking at her father, transporting her back to the last moment she saw him, at the very end of the Battle of Camlin. The memories flooded in, causing Mordred to lash out at the Marine. Doomguy knew she was very serious. While he was evading or parrying all the strikes she tried to land on him, he was impressed not only with the number of curse words she was directing at him, but also with her determination to defeat him, even if she appeared to be extremely infuriated at him. But Mordred still maintained her composure. Still, with each passing moment, Mordred was getting more and more violent, attacking the Marine at an almost blinding speed. Jean didn't know where to look, since the two were so fast they were almost disappearing. That's when he decided to step up his game as well. Soon, the two were exchanging blows at light speed, but the Marine was quickly gaining on Mordred. With each passing moment, Jean could hear the sound of the clashing blades getting louder and louder. That's when a Marine got the upper hand on Mordred, locking Clarent's blade with the guard of Jean's sword, causing Mordred's sword to get stuck on it. Before she could try to free her sword from his grasp, Doomguy pulled Clarent out of her hands. It was such a powerful that parts of the gauntlets of Mordred's armor broke, the little pieces falling on the floor of the street. The Marine then kicked Mordred in the chest, knocking the air out of her lungs, and she crashed into one of the lamp poles, the sound of contorting metal filling the area as the light coming from the lamp pole vanished. Grunting, Mordred looked up only to see the Marine standing over her, ready to strike her with the two swords. He raised the two blades as if he wanted to decapitate her. She closed her eyes and waited for the strike that would end her life, but it never came. She opened her eyes to see the blades of the two swords dangerously closer to her neck. That's when the Marine sheathed Jean's sword and extended his hand to Mordred and grabbed hers, raising her back to her feet. He then returned Clarent to Mordred. Mordred then recognized that she lost, as Doomguy also returned Jean's sword to her. MRD. That was one of the best duels I ever had. Anyway, I lost to you, Yankee. I'm now your servant, so give me your orders. DG. What about the contract? MRD. That was our contract. It was sealed the moment you beat me. That's how you get a contract with me. You got to earn by wiping the floor with me. DR. That's quite an interesting form of contract you've got there, Mordred. MRD. Onhoth. Ahem. I'm Saber. The name's Mordred. I'm now your servant. JDA. You already told us that before. MRD. Shut up. A servant must always state its class and its true name when the contract is sealed. So, with that out of the way, are we ready to continue our mission, Master? DG. Lead the way, Mordred. MRD. All right. Let's go, Master. We have much to do until the end of the day. For someone as prideful as her, Mordred didn't seem to be bothered by the fact she just lost a battle. She looked like a child that got the exact gift she wanted for Christmas, and she was having the time of her life now. It was safe to assume that she finally found a master that she thought was worth serving. Mordred suddenly stopped near a crossroad, with Clarent ready to strike, and she yelled at the Marine and Jean. MRD, we got some more of those homunculi coming up ahead. What are your orders, Master? DG, you know what to do already. MRD, you bet. After hearing the usual loud sound of multiple bare feet touching the ground, it wasn't long before the homunculi found the Marine's party. The creatures were eager to destroy them. What they didn't account for was a now very motivated Mordred that was tearing a new one on them like they were made of wet paper. Both the Marine and Jean followed her, each providing support for Mordred in their own way. Doomguy used his ice bombs with deadly effectiveness, creating easy targets for Mordred to shred and tear to pieces with Clarent, while the ice shards also damaged the other homunculi that were still alive. Jean didn't fall behind, being very efficient at killing those abominations, pierced their chests with her lance while her master uses multiple-barreled shotgun, the chain shotgun weapon mod he called, to finish off the last of the homunculi, the pellets of the gun punching holes in the soft flesh of the monsters. With the three now more coordinated than ever, nothing could stand in their way. When they finished this pack of homunculi, the Marine received a radio transmission from Mr. Jekyll. He apparently was patched through by Dr. Roman, using the advanced tech at their disposal. HJ, can you hear me? I have supplemental information to pass on. DG, we're hearing you, Mr. Jekyll. HJ, excellent. Chaldea's technology is truly marvelous. But let me cut to the chase. It's about the magical tome running amok in Soho. Unlike the killer homunculi or automata, the magical tome can get past closed doors and into buildings. That we already know. We now have the specifics on the damage now. They say it's some type of spell that puts people into an unending slumber. MRD, but is it really some sort of magecraft? There's plenty of drugs that have the same effect. Back when I was alive, Merlin was very much able to concoct such a potion. HJ, well, according to my informant, it really appears to be a type of magecraft. And the account seems to be genuine, especially given the circumstances we found ourselves in. DR, but we still don't have 100% confirmation, yet at least. If it's just a drug, it shouldn't pose any sort of threat to you. It'll not affect you. MRD, I see, that's good. But well, nothing beats good, old-fashioned vigilance. If it is magecraft, in my case, my magic resistance skill nullifies most effects on me. But I can't block a direct hit of, say, a drug made by servant skill or noble phantasm as high magecraft levels. DG, Jean's impy can take care of that problem. MRD. Oh, really? Can it actually do something like that, Jean? JDA. Why, yes. God's blessing is here with us. MRD. Then we're all set. Nothing can stop us. DG. Don't underestimate our enemy, Mordred. We'll exercise caution, Mr. Jekyll. HJ. That's reassuring. Also, you should be near the location of the informant mentioned before now. Look for a dark, poorly lit bookstore and the informant will be there waiting for you. I hope things turn out fine for us. MRD. We'll never know if we don't go there. Let's move, Master Jean. If Jekyll's informant really is the one I'm thinking about, we're really in for a treat. Continuing their path to where Jekyll told them to go, they soon arrived at the aforementioned bookstore. The small building was completely dark, not a single person or creature inside or outside it. At least, not at first sight, because when they were entering the edifice, Jean thought she saw a small, blue figure moving about inside it. Her suspicions were promptly confirmed to be true. As Mordred was climbing up a set of stairs, a voice came from inside one of the small rooms in the bookstore. A small boy, holding a book in his hands, made his presence be noted by Mordred and the rest. The tone of his voice immediately pissed Mordred off. So you finally come. I was getting pretty sick of waiting, you idiots. Thanks to you, I've ended up reading an entire novel series, roughly 20 volumes, that I didn't even want to read. MRD, it's worse than I imagined. The informant Jekyll mentioned, is this brat. JDA, a child? DR, this boy, as it were, must have some relation to this antique bookshop. Maybe he's the shopkeeper's son or relative or even grandson. Is that correct? You're the one who contacted Mr. Jekyll and is seeking help from us, right? Yes, that's right. The situation being what it is, a rough understanding is fine for now. You're the rescue team Mr. Henry Jekyll said was coming. Is that right? Then let me quickly fill you in on the situation here. MRD, you kind of have a really nice voice. Is your voice changing right now? Yeah, I've always wanted to be in theaters. So embarrassing. Nothing more embarrassing than a life where you couldn't achieve what you want. Well, we'll put talk of my beautiful voice aside. I'll be talking your ears off from here, anyway. For now, let's talk about this place. The magical tome already assaulted the elderly shopkeeper here. Nearly half of Soho's people met the same fate. They've fallen into unending slumber and now dream merrily together. DR, do you know where the magical tome is now? Also, how did you manage to escape its attack? Huh? Are you stupid? Is your brain, not just your voice in La La Land? Obviously, I ran away from it. DR, huh? Oh, S is sorry. Of course. That makes perfect sense. Ha ha, sorry. I apologize. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. JDA. Doctor, please don't get hurt by a child's words. Kids that age tend to speak very bluntly. MRD. Yeah. And that sharp tongue of his will get him in trouble someday. Just saying. No matter. So, you asked where the magical tome is. The tome is right here in this bookstore. JDA, huh? MRD. Vot. And why didn't tell us that beforehand? Just to make sure that a blockhead like you doesn't go out of control and destroy this beautiful bookstore with your crude methods. MRD. Why you? DG. Mordred. MRD. I'm sorry, Master. Still, can I kill him? Just for a little while, I promise. JDA. Not now, Mordred. And he's right, too. It'll be extremely difficult for us to fight this thing in this tiny space. We must lure it outside somehow. Finally, someone that understands. I'll assist you in attracting this thing outside. I'll go upstairs and bring it outdoors, so you idiots can deal with it. Now, Shu, get out of here. MRD. Is he trying to piss us off? If it wasn't for us, he would be still stuck here in this bookstore. I can't wait to get my hands on him. DG. Focus on destroying the magical tome. Don't fall for those shoddy insults. Mordred. You'll give him exactly what he wanted. JDA. Master's right. Also, he's just a child, Sir Mordred. Don't listen to him. MRD. Don't suddenly start calling me Sir Mordred, dummy. Still, thank you for the heads up, Marine. So, are we going to destroy that stupid book or not? DG. I thought you were not going to ask. The three exited the building, waiting for the boy to get out of it, with the supposed magical tome on his tail. When the boy finally left the bookstore, just as he said, the book on his tail. As it floated in the air after him, it left a trail of some sort behind it, probably some sort of magical dust. Mordred tackled the tome, trying to cut it in half with Clarent. When the blade of the sword made contact with the book, it phased through the thing, hitting the ground below instead of its intended target. Mordred tried again to hit the tome, slashing it multiple times, but the book still stood there, not a single cut visible anywhere. Jean tried to hit with her lance, only to see the same thing happen to her. Mordred cursed out loud, while the book just floated in front of them, opening and closing its pages as it hovered around. MRD. Damn it, I know the attacks are hitting, but they're not getting through. What's with this book? JDA. I don't get it either. Our attacks are landing, but it's not going down. DR. Are you sure it's not an illusion? And are you sure your attacks are hitting? MRD. Of course we are sure, you jerk. What do you think we've been doing all time? DG. Yes, document. There are no status anomalies present at the moment. The still floated in front of the three. Its hovering started to piss Mordred off even further. She wanted to slice and burn that accursed thing for making a fool of her in front of her new master and everyone else. MRD. T-Sich floating around like that. So cheeky for a book. Are you missing pages or something? Or perhaps you're just really stupid. More like a banned book. If the contents are true, then even as a book it can kill people. Or so the story goes. JDA. You shouldn't be here then. Find a safe place and stay there. Keep watching a magical tome, miss. Don't worry about me. I'll take off as soon as I say what needs to be said. MRD. Now that you mention it, I thought you had a good voice, but I never thought. Are you by chance a servant? Damn, this fog is clouding my intuition. You finally noticed? Yes, I'm a heroic spirit just like you. Or rather, did you think a kid reading rare books so calmly in a time like this is normal? The ability to detect magical energy aside, your ability as a reader is abysmal, Saber. You should read more. I recommend the series on Shelf E on the first floor. They're full of dreams, adventures, and bad endings you might like. Milliarden, hey, who the hell are you? You sure know how to joke around. More likely, you have a death wish. Hoso Omniscient. Hans Christian Omniscient. Servant class caster. If you want to know the details, read one of my books. DR what? What? Hans Christian Andersen, the author. Amazing. He's one of the top 3 fairy tale authors in the world, Marine. Calm down, doctor. Do you still read fairy tales? I thought you only had eyes for Magimari. DR, oh no. Well, I wouldn't say I love them, but I have read quite a few of them. HCA, you're an avid reader, disemboweled voice. Stop lying. DR, first characters from fictional novels, now an actual author. And our enemy is a book. Okay, it's turning into another confusing situation. Ritsuka. So how's Mr. Andersen? Is he amazing as a servant? HCA, huh? What did you boneheads expected? I'm an author. It's obvious I'm absolutely powerless. It's neat to encounter a magical tome that attacks people, but it's literally impossible for me to defeat it alone. So, here I am, waiting for servants more fit for physical labor to show up. Now go fight, Idiot Saber and Mr. Green. I'll keep detailed notes of the entire affair. MRD. And as expected, he's also a spineless coward. Shut up, please shut up. I feel like killing you before the magical tome. HCA what? Not only do you lack the intelligence to study the magical tome, but you also can't make distinctions between friend and foe. Amazing. An extreme barbarian. You know, your head must be filled with mashed potatoes. MRD. I'm going to show you whose head will be filled with mashed potatoes. Before Mordred could clobber Andersen's head with Clarence Guard, she felt a strong hand grip the pauldron of her armor. It was the Marine. She turned around to ask him why he stopped her and to try to and convince him to let her beat the crap out of that insolent brat. MRD. This is personal, Master. I promise I won't kill him. Just severely cripple his ability to speak. Pretty please? DG, no can do. You can vent your frustrations on that book, not on him. We need him to complete our task. JDA, I know how you feel, but calm down. Mr. Andersen, please say something to her too. HCA, say something? Oh, something beneficial. Well then, here's a lecture. You have experienced the nature of a magical tome, yes? Attacks are ineffective. Of course they are. It's because you think it's a book. It's not. It's a type of reality marble. JDA, reality marble? What is that? DR, well, Gene, it's a type of powerful magecraft that rewrites how the world exists. They say it's almost equivalent to true magic. Rarely, there are cases when a servant materialized uses it as their noble phantasm. HCA, right? Maybe a reality marble affects the space it's in. But that's different. Its existence itself is a reality marble. That's why it has endurance near invincibility. It effectively utilizes the fact it is a reality marble. Then why is that possible? Good. That's a natural question. But figure out that much on your own. There's plenty of food for thought. Anyone can make sense of it in minutes. MRD. In case you didn't know, we don't have those minutes. Spill out the conclusion at once, before I lose my patience again. HC, how hasty. Do you start books at the ending? Oh, fine. Out of respect for the avid reader, I'll tell you. My reason by analogy is that it originally was a servant that projects the psyche of its master. It's easy if you elicit from dramaturgy. Though, I needed to ponder for about an hour. Mordred unsheathed Clarent and pointed the tip of its blade at Andersen's neck. He gulped in fear of tasting the blade of the sword. MRD. You have 1 second to get to the point, or akachia, fine. The conclusion, or rather, the problem is before you. This is a stray. There is no master. That's why it attacked the people here in Soho. It put them asleep and made them dream. In short, it's searching for a master to serve. To manifest the dream, it's trying to materialize as a pseudo-servant. MRD. Can someone translate that for me? DR. I see. So the guise of this magical tome has no substance. HCA. Good answer. It's not even a servant. It's a clump of magical energy that wants to be a servant. It will materialize eventually if left alone. In return, every citizen of Soho will fall asleep. Compared to the fog of magical energy drifting outside, the damage may not be as vicious. However, some may become emaciated and die while asleep, but perhaps nobody will die. To begin with, if sleep takes so much of one's time, we writers would go out of business. So it will be defeated. Soho has many bookstores, both new and used. DR. You contradict yourself, Mr. Anderson. You just said it has no substance, so we can't defeat. HCA. And that's where you are wrong. I mean, you can't look for a book without a title. It's easy to give substance to a story. Can you hear me? I'll give you a name, Magical Tome. Your name will be a tale for someone, nursery rhyme. After Anderson said this, the magical tome dissolved, and the dust it left reformed into a strangely dressed little girl. She appeared to be surprised by her new form. MRD, you're not that useless when you actually try to do something, rascal. But why didn't you do anything until now? HCA, shut up, fool. If I gave it substance, it would attack me, too. Just saying, I'm very weak in fist fights. I told you I had no choice but to hold my breath and read books until you guys, the physical labor, showed up. Nozeri. Rhyme? No, it's not. That's not my name. My name is Alice. HCA. Huh. Something's off. DG, Mr. Anderson, your predictions were off by a mile. JDA. At least, it's finally materializing. We can hit it now. MRD. All right. Let's do it. After I'm done with this stupid book, I'm going to choke that punk with my own hands. NR. Alice, where are you? Alice isn't here. Hey, big brother and big sisters. Where's the lonely me? HCA. She's not here, I'm afraid. You don't have a master, at least not in this era. I can't believe there was a master who loved a book without a title this much. This is what you call painful to watch. I'm sorry, but please defeat it quickly. Mordred, fired up by the prospect of finally inflicting some punishment on the servant that made her look like a fool, and possibly she could do the same to Anderson after the battle. Charge ahead with Clarence ready to administer some pain on that stupid book. She was accompanied by the Marine and Jean, who were following her close by. The nursery rhymes summoned copies of her old body, magical tomes that were exact replicas of her book form, bigger versions of children's toys, and even a multitude of candy to attack the trio. Mordred was cutting through them like a hot knife through butter while she laughed and taunted the apparitions. And she kept going, even though the nursery rhymes still kept summoning more of those things to attack the group. The Marine and Jean were also very busy, as they were crushing, slashing, and beating the phantoms that tried to overwhelm them, only to join their companions in the halls of defeat, for the two were much stronger for them. The trio finally got through the waves of phantoms, and both Mordred and the Marine struck the nursery rhyme, finally defeating it and ending its reign of terror. Instead of dissolving as normal servants would, the nursery rhyme just morphed back into being just that what it was before, a harmless book. The cover showing the title, Alice in Wonderland. Anderson walked past through the tree and picked up the book, looking at it and flipping through its pages. HCA, all bark and no bite. I was expecting at least a reproduction of Wonderland. I guess I was expecting too much. It didn't help that we were too powerful. Milliatin, hey, what was that about us being too powerful, punk? Not only did you stand there like a damn statue, I think all you ever did was run your mouth and insult us. We did all the work for you. JDA, please, let it go, Mordred. He has a sharp tongue for sure, but we were able to defeat the magical tome, the nursery rhyme, thanks to him. We would be stuck here forever if he didn't uncover its real identity, trying to hit a shade like fools. DG, as much as I understand your frustration with Anderson, let him be Mordred. It's not worth the trouble. Emeridi, okay, fine. You're right, master, I know. It's my loss if I meddle with people of this sort. HCA, what? Contrary to your looks. Wait, maybe you do have that look. No, maybe not after all. Your soul is like a morning star. MRD, morning star like a flail? Some thorny, huh? Damn it all. I hate to admit it, but you make a good point. HCA, such a good reaction. With the proper training, you might be easy prey. Ahem, excuse me, a good reader. What a waste. But to think I'd be defending from a hater by an avid reader. Humans never change regardless of the era. MRD, I can't really say anything about the avid reader part, but it's just that Jean is a good person. And she's a servant just like me, not human. JDA, but I was human at once. A long time ago. DG. We all used to be human at some point. Miljarden, Titsiha. Oh well, the thing didn't seem like it used to be human, though. HCA, right? Most heroic spirits were humans, but sometimes there are cases like nursery rhyme. Cases where a human creation gains its own will or gathers visions from people to become a conceptual heroic spirit. DR. Those are very rare, though. Someday, however, there might even be heroic spirits of machines as well as books. Anyway, thank you for all your work. Go back to Jekyll's apartment for now. Anderson, can you come too? It's most reassuring to have more servants as allies. MRD, what? We're taking this punk with us? He's super weak. I'm sure he'll be useless. He's so boring too. I'm sure he won't write any decent books. Tell me we'll not have to take him, Master. DG. It's not safe for him to stay here, Mordred. But that doesn't mean we'll have to take him with us in our next mission. HCA. I see what's happening here. Okay, I'm happy to go with you. I had no intention of helping you, but that last statement changed my mind. My pleasure, Saber. No, Sir Mordred. By the way, if you're to be a protagonist, what's your favorite genre? A tragedy? A farce? Or a comedy? Splendid. I'll polish it into the best trashy tale ever. MRD. Oh really? Then why don't you go write some unpopular books and cry in a corner, fairy tale author? JDA. That was very rude of you, Mordred. You didn't need to go that far. MRD. Why I'm getting scolded by you? I only said what was in my mind. Only a coward talks behind one's back. DG sigh. HCA. Well, let's move. Let's leave before the antique bookshop's owner wakes up. Because I'm also a thief. Actually, I snuck in from the back door. It'd be awkward if he woke up and called the bobbies. Getting arrested despite helping is going too far for a trashy book. MRD. So you're a thief and a burglar? Now you've done it. I'll make sure you won't hear the end of it until tomorrow morning. The group started to make their back to Jekyll's apartment, walking in the empty streets of the city. For the duration of the entire walk back, both the Marine and Jean had to listen to Mordred and Anderson exchanging insults, and at any moment they looked like they would try to kill each other, only for them to turn and see the Marine staring at them and stop before they could even think of doing anything stupid. Jean just laughed at their scared faces. But only a few seconds had passed, and the two started the cycle once again, insulting each other once again. Jekyll's apartment, London, 1888, 1,200 hours. The night passed, and when the next day arrived, Anderson was still at it, analyzing every inch of Jekyll's apartment. Even if he was an English gentleman, born and raised to be one, Anderson's terrible manners and sharp tongue started to slightly irritate him. He entered the living room, announcing something while Jekyll had called the other to inform them of the grave situation that had arisen earlier in the morning. HCA, my, what a lovely little hideout. I like it. I'll take the study next door. I'll be unpacking, so call me if you need me. Oh, and don't forget to knock. MRD. Oh, don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna knock on your door ever. I'm sure of that. HJ, he's gonna wreck my studio. Oh well, never mind our illustrious guest for now. We have more urgent matters to deal with right now. Saber, Marine, Jean. Jack the Ripper is back. And this time it's murdering women in the fog. This thing is currently putting the Scotland Yard under siege. I'm picking up calls for help from stations all over London. MRD, that little punk. The bastard finally came out. JDA, seems like you had a score to settle with her. Miljarden, yeah, a servant of assassin class. We fought a few times in the fog. She escapes every time. I can't quite finish him off. They escape into the fog. On top of that, I can't remember a face, figure, or specific abilities. It pisses me off. Every time I hear Jack the Ripper, all I can do is think, oh yeah, that assassin. Damn it, it's so frustrating. That stupid little bastard has been toying with me for a long time. HJ, and what about you two? Did you encounter Jack on your way here? JDA, yes, Mr. Jekyll. It tried to attack us in the fog too. Part of its noble phantasm is the ability to create a type of fog different from the one covering London right now. It uses to stay hidden and attack its unsuspecting victims. HJ, and what about its appearance? Did you catch at least a glimpse of it? DG, it appeared to be a young girl covered in a black cape. JDA, wielding two sharp knives. Not only that, this servant appears to be composed of multiple presences. HJ, that's great. You two don't seem to be affected by its abilities or noble phantasm. That should give us an upper hand against it. MRD, so what we are waiting for, Master? We should hurry before it, or she gets away. Let's move. As the three were about to exit the apartment, Anderson came out of the study room. He's only going to give up when Mordred finally kills him. The Marine thought. HC, going back into the fray so soon, Mordred? Then say so. Bring me back, I know. Some scones would be great. MRD, go get them yourself. I'm not your servant, and you're not coming with us. Unless, can you make this servant easier to beat like last time? HCA, the last one was an extreme exception. Don't count on it. What do you expect an author to do, to begin with? Do you think authors are all-powerful, omniscient gods? Then you need to learn better. Listen to me. Authors are just fools who fled to the pen when reality wouldn't go their way. Do you really think I can help you with anything? MRD. I didn't know why I even bothered to ask. Let's go, Master Jean. They shot up out of the apartment, quickly leaving it behind, making their way to the Scotland Yard's headquarters as fast as they could, since time was of the essence. Mordred was impressed with their agility. She was barely able to keep up with them, but for the two, it appeared like they were walking in the park. In one of the streets they were passing by, they were stopped by a group of homunculi and imps. They were fighting against one another, with neither of them having the advantage over the other. The Marine led the way, starting the battle with a barrage of ice grenades, freezing a great number of homunculus and imps when they exploded beneath their feet. Mordred slid through them, shattering the ice statues with Clarent as she passed through them. She was having fun cutting those abominations in half. The remaining imps noticed the presence of their greatest arch-nemesis and ignored their attackers, focusing on the Marine instead, even if some of their brothers died in doing so. But before they could anything else, the demons were stopped by Jean, who struck them with her lance, severing their torsos in half while they shrieked in surprise at their new foe. Doomguy was also busy with those monstrosities. He grabbed the heads of a homunculus and an imp and smashed them against one another, killing them instantly. Another imp tried to attack him from behind, only for the demon to be shredded by the firepower of the chain gun. When Mordred finally finished the last of the freezer creatures, the rest of the enemies were already been taken care of by the Marine and Jean, who were wiping the blood off their armors. She smiled and waited for the two to finish their cleanup, and soon they resumed their dash to the headquarters of the Scotland Yard. Dr. Roman started to talk about Mordred and the Arthurian legends for some reason. Dr. She fights pretty fiercely. I guess she really is the treacherous knight of legend. She'll be a great helper for us. DG. You mean Mordred? JDA. Why you call her that? What did she do to deserve such a title? Dr. Oh yes, we forgot to tell you the story about Mordred, Jean. She's the knight from the 5th to 6th century Arthurian legends, and the one who ended that era and the King of Knights. She literally betrayed King Arthur. JDA. I see. And what happened next, Doctor? Dr. You see, Mordred's betrayal was no ordinary betrayal. She brought together all of Arthur's enemies, both domestic and foreign, and became what we call the treacherous king. In peaceful times, she could have been king herself. There are many stories of her own glory. She was originally a Knight of the Round Table, possibly the 13th one. Some legends say this is where the common superstition of the Friday the 13th originated from, but there's no substantial evidence to confirm it. And finally, it's also said she was Arthur's illegitimate son, but there are also stories that the king didn't admit that Mordred was his bastard son. Some say that's the reason for his betrayal. In the end, why did Mordred betray King Arthur? Only she herself knows. JDA. And what happened to her rebellion? Did it succeed? DG. In a twisted way, yes. Mordred died during the battle on the hill of Camlin. They killed each other. She fought King Arthur with the sword Clarent, and King Arthur fought with a holy spear and pierced her through. King Arthur was fatally wounded as well and died on the spot, entrusting Excalibur to her most trusted knight, Bedivere. JDA. How tragic. Father and son killing each other in the end. I don't know what else to say. MRD. Hey, why are you guys slowing down? Hurry up and let's go. DG. You heard her, Jean. Let's continue. JDA. Right, Marine. Dr. One last thing. I've got news from Da Vinci. I'll give you her analysis on Helter Skelter, the huge armored robot. She's still not finished, but according to what she's found so far. First, it's not a golem. The video showed no traces of magecraft. Even if it's a pure machine, there are still many unknowns, except that it seems to be steam-operated. It looks like the technology that doesn't exist in our year of 2017. It was made via some technology that was hidden or perhaps lost. It's as if it's a product of some super technology from a world that took a different path than our own. So, I guess you're running right now. It would make sense that you wouldn't answer. That's all I've got. Good luck, guys. When they finally arrived at the location of the Scotland Yard's HQ in Westminster, they found out they were too late already. All of the Scotland Yard's personnel were dead. Their mutilated bodies were lying all around the street floor at the entrance of the building. And standing in front of the gate to the building was the perpetrator of these horrible murders, Jack the Ripper herself. Mordred could feel the air get heavier with what she felt was fury, and it appeared to be coming from her master. Even the hairs on her neck stood up, which wasn't normal for her. Still, she could understand where he was coming from. Jack didn't realize what was coming for her as she spoke to them from the open metal gate. JTR, you came out here. All right. What should we do to you? Should we kill you? 1, 2, 3 lots. Lots. We killed lots and lots, but we're still hungry. We're starving. The police officers don't have much magical energy, you know? So thanks for coming. We'll be full after we eat your magical energy. JDA. We are too late, Marine. The smell of blood. The Scotland Yard has been wiped out. MRD. You damn right we made it. And we are here to make sure you choke on that magical energy. DR. There are two moving responses there beside you. Jack the Ripper and one more. JDA. Then it's an unknown servant. It's not anywhere in. Yes, I'm a caster servant. I'm one of the leaders of the project you know of. DG. Project Demonic Fog. And you are the one our king warned us about. It's a complex set of circumstances you see, Doom Marine. You can call me P. Unfortunately, you're too late. The Scotland Yard has been slaughtered to the last man. They all died horribly. That girl has no compassion within her at all. But it was necessary. A necessary sacrifice. That's all I can say. Man is to be loved. Love and emotions are both noble, brilliant things. But how sad. Sometimes they pale in comparison to the greater good. Something we need was kept inside Scotland Yard. Figures the British Empire, home of the Mages Association and the Clock Tower, would put a heavy magical seal on. And so, sadly, they were in the way of our greater good. MRD. Why do you mouth off like you actually know stuff? I could care less about love and emotions. Yet again, you guys laid your hands on what's mine and my master's. You're no king. How dare you touch what belongs to a king? JDA. Have you no shame? No pride as a hero? You're a heroic spirit. You should be helping people, not killing them. P. Yes, and so you see, I'm so filled with sorrow I cannot control myself. Humans, possessing emotion, should be sacred. Humans, filled with love, should be dazzling. My power cannot save them. No, looking at the results, it could never save them. Time is being incinerated. Humanity is being incinerated. The march of civilization, emotions, love, are all disappearing. Only 4 more singularities remain in the world. How sad. But neither you nor I can stop it. No, if we cannot stop it, JDA, you're contradicting yourself. A contradiction in your words when you speak of emotion. Caster, no P, who are you? You use Jack to take human lives. You're sure the one without compassion. P. Yes, perhaps I am, beautiful young girl. I am a mage and a wicked and cruel one at that. Even now, I tell an innocent girl as follows. Jack, you handle them. Do what you like. They might be your mother. JDR, huh? They might be. Mommy? Oh, we see. Then we'll do to you what we do to mommy, okay? Will you let us go back? Will you let us go inside you? Inside mommy? MRD. Yes, you're going somewhere. Back to the throne. That's where you'll go back to. We'll end your existence right here, right now. Master, give me your orders. DG. Stop Jack the Ripper at any cost. JDA. I have an idea, Marine. Back me up. Not wasting a second, Mordred attacks Jack, tackling her with clarion in hand, ready to tear her to pieces. But, as she was a foot away from her, Jack disappears, her body turning into a fog that mixes itself with the already dense fog present in the street. Mordred raises clarion and starts to pay close attention to the environment around her, waiting for Jack to reveal herself again so she can end her life immediately. A second later, she feels something sharp touch her neck. The little brat was holding her neck and was cutting it with her blade. Before she could do major damage to her, Mordred throws her off balance, and she finally releases her neck. Mordred was dumbfounded. How could she not feel her presence now? During their occasional encounters, she was always able to tell exactly where Jack was, no matter the circumstances. But then the realization dawned on her. It was all that mage's fault. Yot'er, montakem ypsilon. No, 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 no. It hurts. Why? Tell me. Please. Please? P. Farewell, my child who knows not love. I pray that someday you find the love you seek. Now then, I suppose I should die by your hands here as well. The wicked mage is defeated by the heroes. That is one of the endings I seek. But I will first fulfill my duty. Farewell, you heroes who would walk the bright path. You too, Knight of the Round Table. I pray that you forever remain the heroes who defeat evil. MRD, wait. Ah, damn it. He disappeared. That's why I hate mages. DR, he teleported somewhere away from us. If it wasn't caused by the use of a command spell, it's a skill closer to true magic. With the way he did it, a possibility is the Holy Grail. MRD, no matter. We'll just have to find and crush them. Now, Jean and Master, what was that stunt you two just pulled right now? DR, I'm actually curious too. What did you two do to Jack the Ripper? JDA, we exorcised her. I and the Marine figured it would be useful to know how to exorcise demons, given we're also fighting them. We've trained for this for quite some already. DG, Jean didn't know if it would actually work on Jack, but since she was a servant made of an amalgamation of multiple vengeful spirits, she thought it would be effective against her. Thankfully it was. Good thinking, Jean. JDA, thank you, Master. I appreciate your compliments. MRD, shouldn't I get some compliments too? I held Jack in place until you were able to that thing to her. DG. Good job, Mordred. Well done. MRD. Just that. Why you jerk? Let's head back to Jekyll's apartment. All this fighting made me hungry. Mordred sped up, trying to put as much distance as possible between her and the Marine and Jean, visibly irritated. Both of them sighed, and they started to follow Mordred back to Jekyll's apartment. Jekyll's apartment, London, 1888, 1900 hours. While serving tea to his guests in the sitting room, Mr. Jekyll lamented the deaths of the Scotland Yard's officers. A symbol of London's progress and security, their brutal death visibly dealt a blow in Jekyll's mood, a terrible tragedy for the city and its inhabitants. HJ, thanks to Jack's mindless brutality, the lives of London's citizens will only get worse from here on now. But I'm glad to see you back, safe and sound. I heard you haven't rested at all since your arrival, right? Pushing yourself doesn't equate to good work. Be it writing or hunting for the Holy Grail, occasional breaks are needed. JDA, we appreciate your concern, Mr. Jekyll. But there's no time to waste. We must continue our mission. HCA, fool, are you a workaholic too? Can you not forget the weight of what you carry? Then let me tell you a story to pass the time. A story of how nursery rhyme and I materialized. MRD, you mean Alice, right? At least that's what that thing called herself as such. HCA, no, its name really was nursery rhyme. You left for the yard before I could tell you. I didn't get to say this, but both nursery rhyme and I appeared from this demonic fog, with no master and with no summoning ritual either. Miljarden, yeah, and come to think of it, so was I. Jekyll's no master, and there was no summoning ritual. I just woke up one moment in the fog. Do servants just naturally appear like that? DR, no, they can't. In the other 3 eras we went to, the servants were always summoned under the Grail's influence. It's absolutely impossible for a servant to just appear on its own. DG, unless the fog from the blood swamps is coming from the Holy Grail. DR, that's a good theory. But could they be able to do something like that? DG, yes, document. They're very good at subverting anything to work in their favor. DR, you don't need to tell me. I've already seen enough of their methods. HJ, I never thought something like this would be possible, but after seeing what I saw the past few days, that's the only possible logical conclusion. There are no contradictions. HCA, logic applies to most things in the real world. About the only thing it doesn't apply to is love. Use your imagination. Then you'll anticipate most things, and sometimes even predict them. MRD, and what do you know of love? Like you know anything about that, you useless punk. HCA, I don't want to hear that from someone who doesn't even know love. I'm a virgin. I know all about love and romance. MRD, you're already contradicting yourself. How can you know love if you have never even experienced it? Try harder next time. DR, I don't know, but those are some amazing words. HCA, have you forgotten already? I am Hans Christian Omniscient. My storytelling makes me a caster heroic spirit. If a swordsman's skills lie in battle, an author's skills lie in letters, words, indolence, pain, and love. Be it improv poetry or a crazy deadline, a true author is capable of anything when serious. I'm a creative author. Not many can match me for imagination. I won't lose a debate to an amateur. If you're not going to rest, go for a late-night patrol. Miljarden, Titsiha. And like I would debate about love with an idiot like you. Also, we were already planning on going on a patrol anyway. If we can nab that P guy and make him talk, we can end this crisis. Master, let's go. Huh, where are they? Jean, and my master disappeared. HJ, not really. They just got tired of hearing you two fighting and went on a patrol without you. To the edge of the city area. You better leave now if you want to catch them. MRD, it's all that brat's fault. Damn him. See you later. Mordred stormed out of Jekyll's apartment, hastily making her way to where he said the two were going. After a few minutes, she finally spotted the two moving down a street as if nothing had ever happened. Mordred got their attention and the two welcomed her back. Now that she stopped to think about it, it was odd for her now go on patrol with more people besides herself. Until now, she only did the patrols by herself. But now, Mordred felt glad that she had company now, even if she wouldn't admit that to anyone in a million years. MRD, it feels strange to do a patrol with a bunch of people. I always did these on my own. Well, this makes things easier for me, so I don't mind. Oh, there's someone already. These stupid things really do have a death wish ingrained into them. Let's crush them, master. Marine was already working, as he blew a hole in one of the homunculus with a super shotgun, almost severing the creature in half with a thunderous blow that echoed in the street. The sound appeared to confuse the other homunculus, as they tried to cover where their ears would be with their massive hands. Jean took the opportunity to skewer a few of them with her lance, tossing them around when she was finished with one to confuse the creatures even more. Mordred joined the battle, cutting a homunculus in half with Clarent, while the tip of the sword also hit another one in the face, opening a big gash on its head and blinding it instantly. She kicked the now blind monstrosity in the chest and killed it, piercing the neck of the thing when it hit a wall of a house in front of them. This went on until they were finished with the group of homunculi, when only puddles of evaporating goo remained in the street to indicate anything was ever here in the first place. Even after all this exercise, Mordred was still ready for more. After all, she wanted to show off to her new master. MRD. Much better now. I'm feeling really good right now, even though I could use an icy drink right now. JDA. Aren't tired, Mordred? Perhaps a good rest is in order for you. MRD. Nah, not really. It's just that there were just so many of them. It would be different if there had been a helter-skelter. It's quite strong. It's probably the only enemy I've enjoyed fighting during this materialization. DR. The Marine and Jean have only encountered it once. It wasn't a tough opponent for them, but it also wasn't easy too. Maybe there aren't that many of them? Come to think, you three covered a lot of ground, but haven't seen any. Milliarden, yeah. Come to think, I've never seen big groups of them. If possible, I'd like to go up against a tough enemy. I hope we'll see one tonight. DG, if we find P tonight, I'm sure we'll also find one with him. MRD. Oh, you think so, Yankee? I mean, Master. DG, He's part of the Project Demonic Fog, after all. JDA, you're right. He's an important general to our enemy. They must have all sorts of monsters guarding him. MRD, let's go further in then. If something appears, we'll deal with it. It may even be Mr. P. When they turned left in the next street, what they found disappointed Mordred. It was just another small group of enemies, some automatas mixed in with some imps and gargoyles. They appeared to be infighting when the creatures noticed the Marine standing near them, which made the monsters attack the trio immediately, only for Mordred to put herself in between Doomguy and the demons/automatons. She swung Clarent horizontally, the blade igniting with a red aura that cut through the flesh of the demonic creatures with ease, cutting them in half. The imp that tried to crawl away had his head promptly smashed by the Marine's boot, ending it instantly. Next, Doomguy targeted Jean at his side, the small group of automata, using the flame belch to ignite them on fire. While they tried to extinguish the fire of their melting ceramic bodies, both Jean and Doomguy started to tear them apart, him using the chain gun to help Jean finish the creatures she pierced with her lance, making easy targets for both of them. Mordred finished to the last remaining enemy, and Gargoyle, bashing its head multiple times in the pavement until it finally was crushed, gore splashing all around. Mordred was a quick learner, adapting the fighting style of the Marine to suit her own. After wiping out the blood of her armor, Mordred insulted their dead enemies. Milliarden, HMPH. More gutless enemies. These demons are nothing but pansies. DG, they are fodder after all. JDA. Still, we must not underestimate our enemies. Arrogance doesn't suit you, Marine. DG, but that's what they are. Mere distractions while the heavy demons attack you. MRD. Then I can't wait to fight a heavy demon. If the fog makes servants and demons appear, I wanted to toss out a strong one. Oh, but you know, what if what comes out isn't necessarily an enemy? DR. Good point. After all, you're with us now, and you were also summoned by this fog. The same goes for Anderson. But Nursery Rhyme and Jack were our enemies. Both were likely servants that materialized from the demonic fog, too. Milliarden, yeah. Anyway, let's continue patrolling everyone. It's only a little bit further until we reach the edge of the city. They continued to move forward until Jean saw someone coming from one of the streets nearby. Since she was only able to make out the silhouette of a human figure, she tensed her muscles and prepared to fight, if needed. The Marine saw it beforehand, his chain gun ready to tear apart whatever was coming from the fog. Mordred continued to walk forward instead, only stopping a few meters from the figure. She put Clarent over her shoulders and started to tap her armor with the blade, making a loud, clanking noise that echoed in the street. The figure stopped dead at its tracks, and Mordred yelled at it. MRD, come at me. Strong enemies and heavy demons. WS, well then, who is it that doth summon me? I, Castor Shakespeare, traveled with great haste to the city of fog. Or so I wish to say to you. But it seems that I was not summoned to participate in a Holy Grail war this time. This is quite vexing indeed. Oh, Gaugy, where dost lie the grand story that I am destined to behold? No reply. Silence. God has forsaken me. Where art the tale, making blood boil, flesh dance, heart shiver, and soul shake? Then, I can only utter these words. Oh, love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind. JDA, this servant seems to be very theatrical. What do you think, Marine? DG, it's William Shakespeare. It's expected for him to act that way. MRD, great. Another weakling. Next one. WS, oh, what have we here? How curious our paths should finally cross within this unfathomable fog. MRD, can you stop talking like that? How annoying. At least, we just confirmed our theory. Right now, this guy materialized from the demonic fog. WS, oh yes. It is a tragedy that my master does not exist. But I was able to meet you. Surely this, too, is destiny. I shall weave a tale of your exploits. I pray that your tale shall live up to your reputation. Milyaden, ooh, this guy is not our enemy. It's kind of odd if you think about it. What's the difference between him and the likes of Jack or that clown? Jack aside, everyone moved on their own will. Also, it seems our patrol just hit the jackpot. JDA, what do you mean, Mordred? MRD, look who's coming from behind our friend over there. He finally decided to stop being a coward. The one we've been waiting for. Hey you got some nerve for someone who fled. P, it seems I'm too late. JDA, just when did he? P, how unfortunate. It seems you've already found the servant that had just materialized. He appears to be a caster. If only we had found him first. He would have made a fine ally. MRD, so that's how you bolster your ranks, isn't it? Haha, I get it. It's really quite simple when you reveal the trick. DR, you procure and round up servants materializing from the demonic fog and make them your allies. I see. Logically, it's simple, but it's easier said than done. JDA, then, unless you have the Holy Grail, it's impossible to make heroic spirits move according to your will. P, you're all correct. I confess as much. It is as you say. We continue to wait in London for those who are indispensable to us to manifest themselves. So, we procure heroic spirits materializing from the fog one by one, and adjust them so they work on expanding the fog. It is truly regrettable indeed that we were not able to procure all of you. We surely would have been fine friends. All of us. Digi, I don't think so. JDA, I feel exactly the same as you do, Master. MRD, like we would ever join your side. Seriously, you'll have to allow me to pass on that. But I won't let you get away from us this time. Mage, name yourself before we cut you down. PCS, as you wish. There is no catalyst to transport to safety this time. I shall procure you here myself. Iampavatsezus von Hohenheim. I manipulate the 4 great elementals, and I seek the true ether. Now, however, I seek a different objective thanks to our king. Come, servants of the true king. BGM, Knights of the Holy Spear, Persona 2, Innocent Sin. From the fog, 2 massive figures were approaching them, ready to battle the Marines party. Even without seeing them clearly, Doomguy knew exactly what they were. From the demonic fog, 2 familiar demons appeared, a Marauder and a Doom Hunter. The 2 demonic creatures prepared to fight the 3, rushing to Paracelsus's side. Mordred smiled. Finally, the big bosses showed themselves. MRD. So these are the heavy demons you talked about, right, Master? DG. Super heavy demons, actually. MRD. Even better then. So how it's gonna be? Which demon you'll take? DG. Ladies first. MRD. Why you imbecile? Anyway, I'll take the axe guy. He seems to be the toughest of the 2. DG. Be careful with his energy shield, Mordred. You'll not be able to hit him while he has it pulled out, not to mention he'll summon a hellhound to aid him after you hit his shield. Only attack when he rushes towards you. MRD. Got it. Let's start this party. While Paracelsus stood back to watch his 2 bodyguards fight his pursuers. Mordred and the Marauder clashed, both striking each other, the sound of their weapons clashing filling the area around them. Meanwhile, the Marine and Jean were taking care of the Doom Hunter. The cybernetic monstrosity used his mortar mounted on its hoverjet platform and the arm cannon to try and hit 2, only for it to snarl in frustration after seeing its explosives miss the mark. Its energy shield would have delayed the fight if the Marine didn't get his hands on a plasma rifle. Using the heat blast, kindly reconstructed and improved by Da Vinci, he fired the cone of pure energy at the Doom Hunter's shield, disabling it instantly. The demon faltered and Jean started to stab the base of the hoverjet, while the Marine fired a volley of plasma balls at the demon. After taking some heavy punishment from the 2, the Doom Hunter ejected itself from the hoverjet, only for his torso to fall on the ground. The turbine on the back of the thing was now malfunctioning thanks to Jean's blow. The demon tried to crawl in the direction of the Marine, only for Jean's armored boot to stop it immediately, with her putting a lot of pressure on the head of the demon. Doomguy finished the creature off with the plasma rifle, melting the face and neck of the demon. Mordred was still battling the Marauder, the demon missing huge chunks of flesh on both of its arms, and the face mask was long gone, revealing its long, sharp teeth maw. But the demon still kept going, and Mordred was enjoying every second of it. But when she decided she had enough of it, Mordred decided to kill the demon in her favorite manner, by using her noble phantasm. She looked at the Marine for a brief second, but as though he could read her mind, he gave her the thumbs up to move along with her plan. She smiled, and she kicked the Marauder in the chest, while bashing it with Clarence Guard multiple times before retreating. When the demon stood back up, Mordred was waiting for it, a massive beam of red energy emanating from Clarence, almost reaching the sky above. MRD, take this. This is the cursed sword that destroyed my father. Clarence Blood Arthur. Mordred brought down her sword, the beam of red light descending with it. It instantaneously incinerated the Marauder, and the beam also reached Paracelsus, who was caught in the blast area of the immense pillar of red light that emerged from the impact of the beam. When the fireworks finally ended, a badly wounded Paracelsus laid on the floor of the street. Mordred was about to ask if her master liked the show she put on when Paracelsus muttered his final words under his dying breath. PCS, a most natural result. This is precisely what I'd expect from knights of your caliber. Naturally, those who deal with evil must fall, overcoming all the world's wickedness, resisting all of this world's greed and temptations. And you'll be the ones to carve out the future of this world. May the path before you be somehow illuminated by the true light of justice. Paracelsus's body dissolved in the familiar gold dust cloud they knew too well when Dr. Roman chimed in to confirm their success. Dr. Confirming the elimination of the demonic creatures and the enemy servant. Victory is ours, Marine. Milliarden, dumb. The idiot disappeared without a trace. He was a nauseating mage from beginning to end. Carve out the future. Give me a break. As if I'm a type to do that. Ugh. JDA. That was very insensitive, Mordred. He didn't seem to be working with our enemy by choice. He was clearly being forced into working on that demonic fog thing. MRD. Give me a break, Jean. Let me savor our victory without your yapping. WS. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player. MRD. Oh, not you too. What was that just now? WS. It's nothing but a few fanciful phrases crossing my mind. This was quite a fine spectacle that you have shown me today. I was only able to behold the mage in a short role, but he provided a truly satisfying final act. MRD. And someone just said I was the insensitive one. Geez, one idiot. You're just being delusional. After just staying there for some minutes, pondering on what Paracelsus was trying to say, the Marine and the rest of the group slowly made their way back to Jekyll's apartment. Jekyll's apartment, London, 1888, 1000 hours. Mr. Jekyll rushed through the apartment, making his way to where Mordred and the rest were perched on, in the dining room resting, more like waiting for the next enemy, after he picks a terrible, urgent message via his trusted radio. The way he entered the dining room quickly got everyone's attention, the stressed tone in the voice clearly indicating something terrible had happened. HJ, we have an urgent situation happening right now. MRD, what is it, Jekyll? Spit out already. HJ, it's the clock tower. I just picked a distress call from the Royal Marine station there to defend the Palace of Westminster are under heavy siege by what they refer to as demons. I'm afraid that's a job for you, Marine, since you appear to be much more acquainted with those creatures than anyone else here. DG, then we must leave immediately. They'll not hold their ground for long. MRD, and they're also messing with what's mine again. They'll pay for this. Even though when I first materialized here in London, those Royal would ever shot me on sight when I tried to approach the building. HJ, then allow me to help you get there faster and safer too. Follow me, please. HCO8, and what about us? We can't just stay here holed up in this apartment. DG, you'll stay here. Any more questions? HCA, no sir. TCH, Milliarden, haha. You show him master. I'm starting to like you even more than I already did. HJ, now that's been settled. Oh, Fran, what are you doing here? Fran was standing right next to Jean and the Marine, holding his arm close to her chest. She didn't want them to go out there again. FRN, DG, I know, Fran, but this is too dangerous for you to go. So hold the fort for us, Fran. JDA, he's right. At the moment, London is especially dangerous for you. Please stay here and protect everyone, Fran. Do this for us. FRN, DG, good girl. The Marine patted Fran's head, Jean also joining him in the act. After she had enough, Fran let them go, sheepishly waving goodbye at them. Jekyll led the group to the basement of his apartment, where he opened a hatch that was covered by an old bookshelf conveniently put over it. The hatch led to a tunnel that appeared to lead underneath the city. It was probably London's infamous sewers. HJ, before you go, I must tell you something. In the clock tower, it's where the Mages Association is located. I used to sneak in there to get some rare ingredients for my experiments some time ago, before I was almost caught by one of their familiars. After you help the Royal Marines, I need you guys to enter their secret facility and retrieve some archives for me. I'll contact you after you deal with those wretched creatures. Best of luck to all of you. They descend into the tunnel below, that, as Doomguy already knew, lead to the sewers of London. The air there was foul, almost as foul as the sewers from the entryway of the starport he navigated through a long time ago. Just need to add the zombies, imps, and demons, and it would look the same. After enduring all of Mordred's comments of how the smell was terrible for what appeared to be Ian's, the map on the Praetor suit's HUD flashed multiple times, indicating they arrived at their destination. The Marine gestured for Jean and Mordred to stop and follow him, and he started to climb the crude metal ladder that led to a manhole above. He punched the manhole's lid. It flew high in the and landed nearby with a loud, booming sound. After he emerged from the manhole and helped Jean and Mordred climb the ladder, Doomguy turned around, only to find a scrawny young man, wearing a khaki service dress and a shako hat, aiming an Enfield rifle at him. Every time they tried to move, it unsettled the soldier, who was staring at the trio wide-eyed, shaking his rifle so much the Marine doubt he could hit them even at point-blank range. After a long stalemate, the soldier finally opened his mouth. RM1, I identify yourselves RR right now. Move an inch and I'll shoot you. MRD, Master, just whack in the head. That thing cannot put a dent in us anyway. DG, we're here to help, not fight them. I'll handle this. JDA, yes, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to assist you. RM1, help? Assist? Is that T true? DG, What's the situation, soldier? RM1, thank God, reinforcements at last. P please, F follow me. The Royal Marine lowered his rifle, and he led them to the entrance of their makeshift command center and the trenches they excavated all around the palace. No officers were around or inside the command center. JDA, what happened here? Where's the rest of the people? MRD, yeah, where are the rest of the soldiers? When I tried to come near the palace days ago, this place was filled to the brim with them. RM1, dead. All of them. All the officers are gone. They were all taken by those demons. Only the dead and the lower-ranked conscripted remained here, until they come for the rest of us. DG, and where they are coming from? RM1, they came from near the front trench. We held a good defensive perimeter with the help of the Maxims until those flying things started to attack us and kidnapped all of the soldiers who were in the front trench. Ever since that day, the situation only became worse and worse with each passing day. DG, understood. Good work, son. We'll be taking over from here. Gene, Mordred with me. Before he could exit the command center, the Marine was once again stopped by the young soldier. He held a paper and a dip pen. He motioned for the Marine to sign the paper. RM1, I am sorry, sir. The captain ordered me to make anyone who tried to trespass the perimeter sign this list. Just a signature and your birth date will do. DG, sure. Orders are orders. I know how it is. Doomguy quickly signed the paper and moved toward the entrance to the trenches. Jean got a quick glimpse of the paper before heading out too. The signature wasn't really visible, but she made sure to remember the date for her own personal reasons. December 10th, 2193. The Marine moved swiftly through the trenches filled with mud and blood, with Mordred and Jean not far behind from him. The trenches were a grisly sight to behold. Besides the mud and the copious amount of blood, there were even body parts scattered all over the filthy floor. Even Mordred was starting to get a terrible feeling coming from this place. Some demons were stationed in the middle trenches, but the Marine quickly eliminated them with a super shotgun. It was the perfect weapon to use here in this confined space. Some minutes passed when they finally got to the front trench. Just as the Royal Marines said, the Maxim guns were still there, and where the operators should be, only dried blood remained. When they climbed up the trench, a demonic screech came from somewhere deep inside the fog. Soon, a swarm of imps, gargoyles, and prowlers were headed in their direction, coming from somewhere ahead of them. BGM, Creeping Death Metallica. MRD, now there's plenty for everyone. I'll enjoy tearing them apart. JDA, Master, what are your orders? DG, give me a minute. MRD, that was fun, but I think that's the last we'll see of them. Defit, no. Milliarden, who? Did you say something? JDA, you heard him. It's not over yet. There must another one of those things nearby. MRD, what's nearby? I don't see anything. Are you sure about that? DG, yes. A gore nest must be nearby. It must be destroyed before it floods the area with more demons once again. JDA, we must hurry then, before they start to attack the entirety of the city. Before Mordred could protest further, the Marine and Jean bolted out, moving deeper into the fog, almost disappearing from view. Mordred cursed under her breath and also sprinted forward, intended to catch up with them in an instant. The only one who remained was the young soldier from before, who watched them fight the demons after he decided to follow after them. He didn't know what to say or think after about what just happened. He could only pray for their success, because he knew deep inside that if they failed, no one else would be able to save the city and its citizens. Chapter 5. Into the Night of Rebellion City, Part 2. The Regent's Park, London, 1888, 1,400 hours. BGM, Kitchen Ace, and Taking Names, Doom, 1993. The once beautiful terraced houses of the park, now laid in ruins. If someone were to take an aerial picture of the city, if the fog wasn't there in the first place, it could pass as a photo taken during the period of the Blitz. But this was 1888, not 1940. As they were moving through the ruined townhouses, Jean thought she could hear the whispers of the dead all around them, and the especially dense fog that was covering the entire park did little to ease her worries. On the other hand, Mordred was bored already. She wanted to kill more of those demons, and if she could choose, One of those things the Marine called Doom Hunter would be a very good opponent to break her boredom. Alas, Mordred finally asked him what they were actually looking for. She poked his back to get his attention, even though he didn't flinch after Mordred did that. MRD, hey master, what we are looking for here? There's nothing but debris and destroyed houses here. Can't we just go back to our base and call it a day if we aren't going to have some fun or kill anything? DG, a gore nest. Maybe something worse than that. JDA, worse? What do you mean, master? DG, that swarm of demons we faced before was too large for just a gore nest or two to summon. When the demons gather and sacrifice enough bodies, they can create a bigger version of a normal gore nest, an even bigger portal to hell. The gore nest from the earth I came from was gigantic, its sheer making it earn the nickname of Super Gore Nest. Its demonic power was so vast, it was able to summon multiple infernal legions of demons from hell in an instant. MRD, that sounds so revolting. JDA, it really is Mordred. But do you think they were able to create such a thing here, Marine? DG, not as big as the Super Gore Nest, but one large enough to open a portal directly to the Blood Swamps. That would explain why they abducted the Royal Marines from before to help them keep making the Gore Nest bigger and bigger. Not to mention, it would also explain the presence of Blood Swamp's fog on the city. HJ, then it must be destroyed immediately before it threatens the rest of the city. Miljarden, you cool. What are you doing here? HJ, oh, excuse me for my sudden intrusion, but I'm not here, Saber. Dr. Roman kindly let me use what he called comlink in order for me to better communicate with you. But this time, I was just listening to your conversation. Also, Anderson would not stop pestering me about the Mages Association's records he wants you to retrieve from their headquarters. DG, tell him he'll get the records after we're done here first. HJ, thank you. That should keep quiet for the time being. Take care and good luck to all of you. Don't let those things take over our city. FRN, DG, thanks, Fran. See you soon. MRD, that Anderson brat again, always acting like he has some sort of hold on us. I can't stand him anymore. When we get back, I'll make sure to clobber him thoroughly. DG, it's not worthy. Just ignore him. MRD, you're right. He hates when I do that to him. I'll break his massive ego down, whatever it costs. DG, good. We also arrived at our destination. Doom Guy gestured for them to stop at what used to be one of the terraced houses. The charred sign read, Gloucester Gate. The entire terrace was in a terrible state, with most of its tiling missing, torn away by something, and now exposed the also destroyed interior. Mordred was wondering to herself what possibly they could be looking out for here when a strange feeling flooded through her body. A frightful feeling, as though she was about to meet something both repulsive and evil. And it was coming from somewhere inside that townhouse. Mordred recomposed herself before asking once again. MRD, is this the place we're looking for? JDA, it seems so. The presence of their evil is at its peak here, inside this building. And this characteristic stench doesn't lie. We're in their den. Before Mordred could ask what stench Jean was talking about, the Marine destroyed the door with one of his weapons, with the sudden noise catching her off guard. And from the inside the building, the smell Jean mentioned entered Mordred's nostrils, its malignance and rottenness greatly upsetting her. The Marine entered the townhouse, with Jean following him right after. Mordred soon followed them, carefully stepping inside the destroyed terrace. With each step they took, Mordred could feel the smell and the evil sensation getting stronger and stronger with each passing second. The trio inspected every room inside the townhouse, their job facilitated by the fact that most of the walls inside the building were torn down, as if something huge simply walked through them, smashing anything in its path. This possibility reinforced by the enormous footprints left on the muddy, filthy floor of the townhouse. After they finished the rooms, only one place was left untouched, the basement. But the trio didn't need to look further for it. Instead of the usual door and steps that would lead down to an unused, dusty cellar, an enormous hole in the ground was in its place, appearing to lead directly to London's notorious sewer system. Great, just what the doctor ordered. A sewer demonic nest. The Marine sighed for himself. The group entered the hole/passage, quickly reaching the sewers. Following the demonic essence signal caught by the Predator suit systems, they walked for what felt like hours inside those tunnels. When Mordred looked to her left side, where the water was flowing, she could swear there were eyes staring back at her, not to mention the faint whispers that were trying to get inside her head. She easily shrugged them off and continued to move along the sewers, when she bumped into Jean's back and stumbled back. Before she could fire an insult aimed at her, Mordred saw what made the two stop dead on their tracks. The sewer tunnel abruptly ended, leading to an underground chamber. After they entered the chamber and saw what was inside of it, Mordred could say only one phrase. MRD, what are these things? They're so disgusting, and they smell too blurred. DG, get used to it. However, these gore nests are different from the usual ones. DR, yeah, They appear to be hooked into some type of steam machinery. That would explain the scent you've been breathing in, Mordred. JDA. Master, can we really destroy these things? I know you just need to pull that pustule off of them, but these don't appear to have them. DG. Only one way to find out. Doomguy picked up his rocket launcher and using the remote detonator mod, he carpet bombed the area where the strange gore nests were positioned at. When the dust settled, only of what remained of the gore nest was their bloody pieces, and another piece of the unmaker laid on the floor, waiting to be picked up. But another thing caught the Marines' attention. A corpse was on the other side of the massive chamber. It appeared to be one of the Mages Association members, and in one of his hands he was clutching a strange medallion, while in the other he was holding another of the Marines' weapon. This time, it was the ballista. The demon started to teleport in mere seconds later, clearly upset by the fact their gore nests were destroyed, and when they saw their mortal enemy, the Doom Marine, they immediately went on the offensive, attacking the group. Finally, Mordred could repay them for what they did to her city and what they made her go through. MRD, finally, the cowards decided to show themselves. You're going to pay for laying your filthy hands on what's mine by birthright. JDA, Mordred, wait. After she yelled some obscenities at the demons, Mordred went straight for them, clashing into some demons and tearing them to pieces with the weight and durability of her armor, while she also started to strike with Clarent, butchering many demons. The Marine crossed the chamber in the blink of the eye, picking up both the medallion and the ballista from the hands of the dead mage. A group of both imps and prowlers tried to swarm him, only for them to explode in a bloody fountain when the Marine fired the ballista, the gun still retaining her massive firepower. The ballista also came with the Destroyer Blade mod, which was the perfect counter for the situation they were in. The sound of the ballista firing got Mordred's attention, making her unaware of the group of gargoyles and prowlers that were rapidly approaching her. Doomguy charged the blade to the maximum, and when he was about to fire it, he gestured for her to get out of the way and he let go of the trigger. When Mordred saw the large red wave coming in her direction, she stepped out of the way and she watched it tore through the demons, cutting their bodies like they were made of rotten wood. This, in Mordred's eyes, was amazing. The Marine's weapon looked like a mini version of Clarent, without its magical properties, of course. Mordred could only think of the damage she could cause with both that weapon and Clarent together. If only her master would share his arsenal with her. A prowler, still very much alive, even if it was missing half of its body, was crawling in Mordred's direction, determined to still attack her. Jean, after seeing the demon, pierced its head with her lance, ending the threat of the prowler permanently. Mordred was ready to proclaim their victory when a rocket hit her, and monstrous steps could be heard from deep inside the chamber. Soon, the culprits revealed themselves. Both a cyberdemon/tyrant and an archvile emerged from the shadows, ready to attack the group. Mordred recovered from the rocket impact and explosion, but the only thing the tyrant's rocket managed to do was pissing her off royally. MRD, now you've done it. I'll make sure to grind your bodies to dust. Mordred began to charge Clarent's blade with her magical energy, and she unleashed the red beam upon the two demons. When the beam was about to hit them, the archvile raised a barrier made of hellfire, and it protected the two demons, dispersing the beam, while it also appeared to boost the cyber demon's power. Mordred was even more pissed off after seeing this, even if the demon's barrier was somewhat impressive. MRD, that skinny bastard. I'll get you for this. G, not until we destroy that archvile. Jean, come with me. Mordred, the cyber demons is all yours. JDA, I'm right behind you, Marine. MRD, on it. He was my target all along anyway. The group split, each going for their designated targets. Mordred engaged the cyber demon, while Jean and Doomguy fought against the archvile. It wasn't strange for archviles and cyber demons to work together since both were part of the high hierarchy of the Hellish Legions. Mordred was having some trouble fighting against the tyrant. For a thing of its size, it was moving really fast. Too fast, actually. She thought it may have something to do with the red aura in its eyes and body, but she continued to circle around it, trying to hit the tyrant's exposed legs with Clarent, while also blocking its attacks when needed. On the Marine and Jean's side, the archvile was trying his best to get away from them at all costs, using its teleporting ability and the wall of hellfire to protect itself. But the archvile miscalculated one of its teleportations, and Jean seized the opportunity to stab the chest of the demon, holding it in place while it tried to free itself from the grasp of Jean's lance. The Marine then fired both the ballista and the super shotgun at point-blank range, reducing the archvile to only the lower half of its emaciated body. The red aura around the cyber demon's body disappeared, finally leaving it vulnerable to Mordred's vicious strikes. Clarent tore through the mechanical leg of the cyber demon, making the demonic beast fall to the floor while it fired a volley of micro-missiles in Mordred's direction, to no avail. Mordred went right for the head of the demon, slashing and stabbing it multiple times to vent off her pin-up frustration until its body disappeared in a cloud of red mist. When he was sure there were no more surprises waiting for them inside the chamber, Doomguy retrieved the piece of the Unmaker and he stored it in the Predator suit's inventory. Now, Mordred was finally able to declare their victory against those annoying demons. It was such a good exercise in her opinion that her mood changed, Mordred looking satisfied after such an intense battle. MRD, Yon, that was great, but I think I had enough for today. DG, not so fast, Mordred. I think I found something that'll help us get inside the Mages Association. The Marine showed Jean and Mordred the medallion he got from the dead mage. A perfect recreation of the Westminster Palace, especially focused on Big Ben, was carved in the back of the medallion. Mordred recognized it immediately. MRD, that's the Westminster Palace. Then, the Mages Association must really be somewhere inside it. But how can this thing help us get inside it? JDA, maybe it's some sort of key. At least it does look like one. Is that what you mean, Marine? DG, precisely. Let's get inside, so we can find their headquarters and retrieve those archives. Doomguy moved towards the path they came from, with both Mordred and Jean following him close by. The air inside the Gloucester Gate was much lighter now, even if the fog still persisted. Much less dense, however, the evil stench finally gone. The building even appeared to be less dark than before, even if it was still in ruins. The trio exited the building and started to cross the park, making their way to Westminster Palace. Clock Tower, Westminster Palace, London, 1888, 1700 hours. BGM, out of time, Castlevania. MRD. So, what we're looking for here exactly? All I can see is a lot of scattered, burnt papers and destroyed furniture. This place is a mess. DG, the hidden entrance to the Mages Association headquarters. It must be somewhere inside the clock tower. MRD, right. And about the Mages Association? Do you two know anything about them? JDA, not much. All I really know is that both the director and Dr. Roman are not very fond of them. DG, they're a bunch of pricks. Harmless prick usually, unless they get their hands on some sort of powerful artifact or long-lost magecraft. Then, Chaldea has always to clean up the mess they leave behind. MRD, yeah, they do sound like pretentious idiots that don't know what they're dealing with. So, where's the entrance to the clock tower? DG, it's nearby. Let's go. The group climbed a set of stairs, and after they spent some minutes wandering around the palace, they found the entrance to the clock tower. Even after all the damage done to the palace, the Big Ben was still very much functional, the deafening sound of gears turning and creaking accompanying them all the way to the base of the tower, until they reached a room that appeared to a storage room filled to the brim with bits and pieces clearly intended for the maintenance of the clock, alongside the ones that were already replaced and left there to accumulate dust and mold. Mordred started to question her master inside her mind. There was clearly nothing here when he suddenly motioned towards one of the walls of the storage room, removing one of the bricks to reveal a shape that looked exactly like the medallion from the dead mage. MRD, well, what are you waiting for? Let's get to it. DG, just making sure there are no surprises waiting for us. Well, here goes nothing. Taking out the medallion from one of his ammo pouches, Doomguy inserted the medallion on the mechanism. At first, nothing happened, and the three just waited for something in the room to happen when the wall right beside them collapsed, revealing a bulky, golden metal door bearing the Mages Association's insignia with great pride. The door opened with a loud metallic creak, revealing a tunnel lit by multiple light bulbs in the ceiling, colored in a dark crimson color. That was the first sign that something was off here for Doomguy. No one would ever put that type of light bulb in a place like this, not to mention he was sure colored light bulbs were not a thing during this time period. Not yet. Meaning it could only indicate something he saw many times during both his time serving and on the moon bases and on Earth. The light bulbs were stained with blood. And just as he predicted, another dead mage laid on the floor a few feet away from where they stood. The Marine went up ahead, examining the corpse and poking it with the plasma rifle's barrel, making sure it wasn't a possessed pretending to be a corpse to catch them off guard. But the mage's corpse remained still as it was beforehand. Doomguy crouched to get a better look at it, with Jean and Mordred rapidly approaching him, their steps echoing in the now visible blood-stained walls. MRD, any clues on what happened to this guy? Those wounds look very nasty. What could have possibly inflicted such damage? JDA, it looks similar to the blade that those helter-skelters wield as their weapon of choice. What do you think, Master? DG, no doubt about it. These are not wounds made by claws, but by an instrument. Good job, Jean. DR, we're too late again. Whoever is behind from Project Demonic Fog got here before us and killed all the mages that still remained. Hopefully, the archives are still intact, or we'll have to hear from Anderson until the end of time. DG, nothing Mordred can't take care of. MRD, you bet. I'm going to tear him a new one if I have to hear from him again. DG, still, let's make the most of our visit here. Let's move. When they entered the Mages Association's HQ proper, they found the place was turned into a slaughterhouse. Bodies were scattered all over the place. Some were even burned to a crisp. There were signals of struggle everywhere, but what attacked the mages overwhelmed them, wiping all of them out quickly and efficiently. This was clearly the work of those murderous machines, and given the state of the bodies, including the one from before, the slaughter happened days prior to their arrival on the mages' HQ. Suddenly, something scribbled on one of the walls caught Jean's attention, and she poked the Marine's shoulder to get him to listen to her, as Jean read what was on the wall. JDA. Beware of the Black Horseman. Black Horseman. Is it referring to Lancelot, Master? What do you think? Mordred, who was looking around the room for anything useful, perked her head up when she heard the name of her fellow knight at the round table. Miljarden, Lancelot. Have you met him? Where is he? DG. Calm down. We've only met him one time. JDA. The Marine and Lancelot back in France. He defeated him in single combat, using his own noble phantasm against him. MRD. Never thought I would hear that from someone. He was the strongest knight in the round table, equal to Gawain. He maybe was even more capable than my father. I would normally think you two were tricking me, but after seeing you in battle and meeting defeat at your hands, you definitely look like someone who could defeat Lancelot. DG. He was a Berserker-class servant when we fought him. Perhaps if he wasn't under the influence of the madness enhancement, maybe things would have turned out different. MRD. I don't think so. When Lancelot released his strength, no one could stop him. You won by being stronger and more capable than him. I knew I had made the right choice by choosing you to be my master. JDA. That moment of reminiscence reminded me of something. Didn't he call you Arthur over and over again? DG. Yes. But Dr. Roman already explained the reason behind his action. That my soul was similar to Arthur, but we're not the same person. MRD. Now that you mention it, when I looked at your eyes for the first time, they reminded me of my father. Even your faces look the same. DG. No, they don't. JDA. Actually, yes. They do look similar. If you look just at the right angle, they are exactly the same. You even have the same stoic, unmoving expression as her. DG. I disagree. But let's focus on finding those archives first. Perhaps one day, we'll find an answer to this strange coincidence. MRD. No need to worry. I've already found them. Here, have him. Mordred threw a heavy stack of papers in the dumb guy's direction, which he caught with his right hand. After looking through it, with Jean peeking over his shoulder, he confirmed it was the most recent records from the mages, dating from a few days ago. That should be enough to satisfy Anderson and provide some answers as to what is happening in London and the whereabouts of the last known member of Project Demonic Fog. The Marine was sure that whoever or whatever it was the one behind those strange new gore nests. Storing the documents in the Praetor's suit's inventory, he motioned for Mordred and Jean to follow him, which they promptly did. When they arrived back at the secret entrance to the mages' HQ, a group of miniaturized helter-skelters, miniaturized as in human-sized helter-skelters, were waiting for them. Doomguy used his plasma rifle to tore through them, while Jean and Mordred attacked from the sides. Pieces of metal and molten metal flew around, as the helter-skelters were mercilessly destroyed by the three. After dealing with them, the trio quickly exited the palace, making their way back to Jekyll's apartment. On the path, Dr. Roman contacted them again to inform them of their progress on his research on these machines, thanks also to Da Vinci's intervention. Or so it seemed he did all of this immense research. Dr. I made great progress on the helter-skelter analysis, and the results are very interesting. As expected, they're machines created by technology unknown to us. I suspect they were built with magical energy. MRD. Well, so what? We already knew that. DR. But that's not all. They're made of magical energy, but they are machines. I still don't understand the kind of techniques used, but structurally, they're machines. Yet, they were formed by magecraft. In other words, they're armaments made of magical energy. Half-baked mechanical constructions, which is why I was looking too hard for magecraft-made golem approximations. Basically, they're noble phantasms. Powerful figures constructed using magical energy. Unlike a sword noble phantasm that is a razor edge, helter-skelters are fighting machines, noble phantasms. It looks like they operate autonomously, but they're actually controlled by someone like the noble phantasm's owner. They're a remote-controlled robotic squad, so to say. All units should stop if we break the acting controller. DG. In resume, we beat the servant possessing the noble phantasm. We shut all helter-skelters down. DR. Yes. All of them will disappear. MRD. Got it. Where's the servant? Mage? DR. I don't know. Not even Da Vinci knows. Or rather, she said she can't clean up my mess anymore. MRD. What? You mean someone else did this for you? DR. You? That's right. After all, I wasn't getting anywhere on my own. I'm just part of the medical staff. Considering that, don't you think I'm doing pretty well? Jodea. You're making a great effort, Doctor. Right, Marine? DG. I guess. You've been a great help for someone who's just a medic. DR. Thank you, Marine. Milliarden, ha. Still, can't you make us a far-seeing crystal or something, Dr. Marin? That would have been a snap for Merlin. Dr. Roman. My name is Roman, and don't compare me to Merlin. He was the ultimate hermit wizard. I'm just a modern-day doctor. MRD. So, does that mean Merlin isn't famous anymore? Ha, that feels great. Serve him right. Dr. Isn't he still imprisoned at the world's end because of his forbidden love for the Lady of the Lake? Vivian? Milliarden. Yeah. I heard he's all crabby and in a tower at a corner of Avalon, unable to leave or die. How can I put it? He was a flighty bastard. Imagine a perpetual flurry of flowers behind him. Do you get what I'm saying? DG. Yes, we do. MRD. Well, good. Enough about him. He's so spineless, he can't even rush over to London's calamity. Let's just get those papers to that annoying brat. Minutes later, they were near the front side of Jekyll's apartment when a figure rushed in their direction. It was Fran, who immediately embraced both the Marine and Jean, clearly happy to see the two back safe and sound. After she had her fill, Fran let the two go, and both inquired her as to why she was outside of the safety of the apartment, waiting for their return. You know you shouldn't be here, Fran. JDA. It's not safe for you. There are terrible things out here. Things that can hurt you. FRN. MRD. Hey, what's she saying, Master? DG. She said it was because of the literary heroic spirits. They were bothering her due to her true nature, so she went outside to get some peace and quiet. MRD. That's it then. I had enough of these two. Give me those papers. I'm going to show them how we do things around here. DG. Sure. After the Marine handed over the documents, Mordred made her way inside the apartment, the sound of her heavy footsteps announcing her arrival. She swung the door open, and a few seconds later, a commotion could be heard from the inside of the apartment. Achijota, saber? No. That's my favorite sofa. What are you doing? Put my sofa down at this instant. HCA. You crazy idiot. Get the hell away from me. WS. What's the cause for such an outburst, my gorgeous maiden? What did we do to deserve such cruel punishment? MRD. Don't play dumb with me. You two literary pigs know what you've done. Now, squeal for your miserable lives. The commotion got louder, and the screams coming from Anderson and Shakespeare got even louder, followed by the sounds of Mordred smashing something, Jekyll's beloved sofa, onto them. The uproar still continued after that, getting louder by the second. Fran, on the other hand, was now trying to get the attention of Jean and the Marine. FRN, DG, what now, Fran? Did they do something else to you? FRN, DG, I didn't know you were capable of doing that, Fran. JDA, doing what, Marine? What's she saying now? DG, it seems she knows where the Helter Skelter's remote control is. The servant controlling them, that is. JDA. DR. Oh, really? Let me double check. Fran, can you detect traces of the magical energy that controls them? FRN, JDA. She's nodding, Doctor. She's saying yes. DR. Then that makes things easier for us. Relax for now, you two. Tomorrow morning, you guys will have a lot of work to do. Area near Trafalgar Square, London, 1888, 1030 hours. BGM, Bloody Tears, Castlevania. Fran guided the Marine and the rest of the trio through the streets, leading them near the famous Trafalgar Square. The trip was uneventful, save for Mordred's dedication to complain about the fog all the way. Her complaining was started to irritate Jean, even with her well-known patience, while the Marine simply continued to move forward, following Fran. Fran suddenly stopped dead on her tracks, getting the attention of everyone. She was gesturing towards the direction of the square, while she moved her left arm wildly. FRN, JDA. She wants us to go to that square, Master. Milliarden, yeah. We're back at Westminster, but now we're near Trafalgar Square. That's where we'll find a National Gallery and the Church of St. Martin in the Fields. Let's go there and pound them down. Right? Mordred, I know you hate doing this, but take care of Fran. Even if she's an artificial human, she's not like us. Jean, and I can handle the rest. MRD, sure, you can count on me, but I can't help you while I take care of her. DR, we can't count on Mordred during the battle then, so you guys will have to provide all the muscle. Be careful. DG, like I said before, Jean and I can handle this. No problem. JDA, then let us continue our path. We must find that servant quickly. They continued to move in the street, turning left in an intersection, and from this other foggy street, the Marine was able to see Nelson's column in the distance, getting closer and closer with each step they took. When they were about to turn in another street corner, a familiar giant automaton destroyed part of the roof of the nearby building when it moved around to ambush the Marines group. It was another one of those gigantic helter-skelters, accompanied by 3 smaller counterparts. Mordred shielded Fran, unsheathing Clarent, ready to defend her and slice in half any of those piles of junk that dared to get close to her. JDA. It's another one of those gigantic machines we faced before, Marine. Let's push forward. DG, right? MRD. Don't worry, Master. I'll take care of Fran. I'm leaving this one to you. Tear them apart for me. Jean attacked the nearest mini helter-skelter, piercing its midsection with her lance, tearing it in half after she swung it around. Using the destroyer blade, the Marine charged it and fired at the other two helter-skelters. The hot energy blade cut through their armor like a hot knife through butter. It melting after their severed midsections fell into the street floor. Their next target was the giant automaton. This time the Marine was more